Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime. And today we're going to be listening to a very infuriating interview with Jenn Soto, Madeline Soto's mother, that took place on April 18th of 2024. Now just to catch you up on the timeline, remember that Maddie went missing, was actually strapped into Stephan Sterns' dad's vehicle on February 26th. The police believe already deceased, right? So she probably died sometime in the early morning hours of February 26th, right after her 13th birthday party. All right? And then, by February 28th, Stephan Sterns, the mother's ex-boyfriend, who was still her very best friend, she says in this interview. Yeah, okay, he was arrested for over 60 counts of CSAM charges. I'm sure you guys know by now what CSAM is, right? Okay, and then on March 1st, Maddie's body was found. And ironically, it was where someone saw Stephan Sterns have a flat tire. He was busy changing his tire on February 26th. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's that. So just remember that timeline. March 1st, Maddie's body's found. So now, how will Jenn sound? What will she be like? Because in all the other interviews, they didn't yet find her. They didn't yet know, but she knows the outcome now. You know? It was only till later, in April, when Stephan Sterns was charged with murder. But I've listened to this and I'm like, I was like expecting more sadness, remorse, grief, concern, humility, anything. No, we're not going to get any of that, okay? My goodness. So again, thank you to Grizzly Cat for sending me this. Really appreciate it, especially we're in all different time zones. Of course, I'm in Switzerland. I am South African if you're new here. So a lot of people say, what's that accent? I'm from South Africa. I lived in the Netherlands for a bit and now I live in Switzerland. My husband is Swiss, so we live here, right? So I was sleeping, okay? I do sometimes sleep, even though people think I don't. And when I woke up, oh my word. This is the first thing I listened to. And so you can just imagine how pissed off I've actually been all day. There's no other way to say it. Please like and share so others can also learn about this information. And I will provide the raw audio file as well for those who don't want the commentary. I have got my notepad here, okay? My pens, I'm going to be taking notes as we go along as well, and I'll be making commentary as we go along. Not too much, just a little bit, because otherwise we'll sit here forever. The audio is, let me just see the time, 1 hour and 9 minutes long. And I'm telling you, I'm just warning you. Trigger warning, horror hog, trigger swine, all the things. You're probably going to be upset because I've been very upset today. I feel absolutely devastated for Madeline Soto. So devastated that this was her mother. It's like, I can't even. And let me just, spoiler alert, one spoiler. You know that doctor's appointment she was going to on the afternoon of February 26th, where she's like, whoop, cancel that. Didn't feel like going because, it was expensive. It was Botox. A $350 Botox appointment. Like, oh my goodness. Emily, thank you for the sticker. You said she's received immunity. They told her nothing she says will be used against her. It's insane, but by a great source. Yeah, I watched True Crime with strategic eyes as well, and I saw him say that. That's what he's speculating. Could be. You never know, though. You never know. I've got a lighthouse here. Be the lighthouse, like Judge Don Ash told us in the Sean Finnegan trial. If you didn't see that, please check out my YouTube shorts section because I actually clipped that for you. What a great judge. He actually emailed me and we discussed it on I think it was a member stream. He was so sweet, oh my word. So he said, be the lighthouse versus being a tank. And I have to remind myself of that today. Because I'm so snarky, I'm so upset. I will be a tank. I will bulldoze right through this, okay? I'm so angry that it's like, okay, be the lighthouse. That's what we're here for. We want justice for Maddie. Okay, that's what we want. It's devastating. Claudia, thank you so much. Okay, are you guys ready? I'm going to start playing this now. Okay, so here we go. Let me put the sound on for you nicely and make sure it's boosted. Get ready.
Good morning. We are at the State Attorney's Office in Kissimmee. It's 8:57 a.m. It is April 18th, 2024. I am William J. I am the Division Chief for the Homicide Unit. With me is Danielle Pinal, also from the Homicide Unit in Kissimmee. Can the detectives identify themselves?
Detective Mark Morris.
Detective Kyle Smallwood.
And with us is
Jennifer Soto.
with your attorney,
Matthew Spark.
All right. We went over some things before we went on the record and told.
This is an investigative subpoena, a derivative immunity. I don't know what all. We have to look up all of this later. She doesn't have immunity. Not that I know of. It's being speculated, right? You say derivative immunity. I don't know if that lasts forever. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just hopeful that there will be full justice eventually. I will never give up on that. I don't care if she's got immunity. That could change. For what? For what? In exchange for what? What could change? Okay. Anyway, so you heard that she's got a lawyer there with her. So yes, she lawyered up. I mean, that's obviously the smart thing to do given the situation. But yeah, she's very calm, and she's got a lawyer right there with her.
You had the opportunity to ask any questions that you needed to ask. If you need a break to consult with your attorney, that is absolutely fine. We'll all step out of the room, turn off your recorders, and let you exercise your constitutional right to have counsel. There's no problem with that. There's water fountains here. There's restrooms. I don't know if you're a smoker or not, but if you get desperate, we can make an outside break time, but we are kind of under time constraints. With that all said, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is an investigative subpoena, so you've been compelled to be here. And in our country, under the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment as applied to you under the Florida Constitution as well, you cannot be forced to incriminate yourself. So anything you say today can't and won't be used against you unless you just don't tell us the truth. And I've already explained to your attorney, Mr. Bark, whether or not you've made any inconsistent statements in the past, that is dirt under the bridge, and either a misdemeanor was committed or it wasn't, but we're not going to be using that as a basis of some sort of perjury by false statements, because those other charges wouldn't be perjury anyways. So the most important thing today is to tell the truth. I also explained derivative use immunity, which means if you said that there was a gun, and obviously there's no gun in this case, buried in your attorney's yard, we couldn't go dig up that gun if you told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview.
Derivative use immunity, okay? So if I just ask Uncle Google, what is it? They said use or derivative use immunity is a type of protection given to a person who is forced to testify in a criminal case. It means that the person's testimony cannot be used against them in a future prosecution. Which is why True Crime with Strategic Eyes, I think he's also going to go live later talking about this. She's also going to be angry. It's just it's got the sound of immunity, she's probably going to testify against Stephan, but I want to see now that what happens after that. I wonder. Welcome to all the new members. Please check out the members only playlist because there's lots for you to catch up on there. Okay, all right, so here we go.
Okay, do you have any questions? All right, so let's get started.
Before you start, let me just make sure we're clear on the record. Off the record, we had discussed our position on the concerns we have. Ms. Soto was interrogated by law enforcement previously. She was under a tremendous amount of duress and stress, being that her child was missing and then she was found deceased. There's been media hysteria about this. There's been people asking for her to be prosecuted, tarred, feathered, executed. And so with that said, we have the concern that you brought up about if there's something said inconsistent today not being used against her for filing a false police report.
Right, so for example, if she said something that was false then, and we have no idea that it was false now before this interview, but she comes in and admits that it was false today, we can't use these statements or that admission that it was false against her, just like we couldn't use anything else against her from this interview.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay, you guys are asking when was the interview. The date is literally up there. I always put clues on the screen for you in case anyone just joins midstream and they're like, wait, when was this from? And the usual FAQs. So April 18th of 2024. All right?
Understanding is that on February 25th of this year, you were working at the hotel on Disney property out at Coronado Springs.
Yes.
You
have to answer
out loud and loud enough to get caught on the record. I know you're upset. I know.
Yes.
All right. And did you get off at 10 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. Did you go directly home?
Yes.
About how long does it take you to get home?
About 25 to 30 minutes.
And when you get home, who is downstairs, if anybody? You have a 2-story, is it a townhome? Is that the best word for it?
Yes, it's at home.
If anybody is downstairs, who is downstairs?
I saw my daughter Madeline and Stephan.
Do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
No.
And do you recall what Stephan was wearing?
I can't tell you, no.
Doesn't even remember what her daughter was wearing when she got home. Oh, but I thought, okay, we're allowed to nitpick. They just want her to now, state the truth and nothing but the truth. They're disregarding all the things she may have said that's inconsistent in previous interviews, like telling the police previously that she saw her that morning get dressed. We know that's a lie, okay? So now it's like, okay, now just like clean the slate, tell us the truth, but we have the background. And I'm going to make some commentary on that. I'm just like, no idea what she was wearing. You have no idea. When I was thinking about it, what would make the most sense is because it gets a little colder at night, of course, not super cold in Florida, but I think around 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit-ish in the evening, and Maddie was dropped off at around 8:30. So maybe at the party, she wore this dress, okay? And maybe she changed into the green hoodie and jeans, That could be it, but it's just like, oh my word, Jen just saying, doesn't remember if she's in PJs, basically doesn't remember if she's in her dress, or like if she's wearing jeans and a green hoodie. She doesn't remember, she's just like, doesn't remember. Oh, but I thought you walked in, she told you about her birthday party and all the gifts she received, and that you watched Sister act together, and she was so happy, right? And then you sent them off to bed. I mean, which in itself is just absolutely infuriating. But, okay, so... wow, that was shocking to me. Because one would think she'd be like, oh yeah, no, she was wearing her pajamas or one that she got for her birthday, because in the laundry basket was a Lilo and Stitch PJ set, it looked like, that still had the tag on it. So maybe she got that for her birthday, or was wearing that, or she would say something along those lines. No, doesn't remember. Okay.
When you get home from work, do you need to kind of eat a late dinner before you get settled in for bed?
Yes.
And do you eat there at your home?
Yes.
What do you eat?
I think I had a pub sub waiting for me in the house, a sandwich.
Okay. Did anybody join you in sitting down and eating?
No, I ate in my bedroom.
Okay. Did it look like anybody else had recently cooked food or eaten any food there that night?
From what I saw, no. I didn't see anyone cooking, or it didn't look like anyone had been cooking.
Okay. I believe in one of your former interviews you mentioned that Madeline might have gone over with you kind of what she got at the birthday party, since you didn't have the chance to go because you were at work. Mm-hmm. When and where does that occur?
That occurs like right after I get home. It occurs in my bedroom. Everyone's in my room.
And so by everyone, let's just be clear, since I understand you have some roommates. So what do you mean by everyone?
Okay. Madeline, Stephan, and myself were in my bedroom.
Okay. At this point in time, do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
I don't know.
Let me ask it a different way. Can you tell me whether or not she was wearing a long-sleeved green sweatshirt and jeans?
Oh, no.
Okay. Would she have kind of been in her bed gear, or do you think she could have still been in the dress that she wore to her birthday celebration?
She would have been in pajamas. I can't recall the exact pajamas, but she would have been in pajamas. She had already, by this point in the evening, she had already showered and changed out of that birthday dress.
She uses such distancing language. Lots of vague statements, just like she would ordinarily have, or usually, and even they're going to ask about the birthday party and the food that she would have. Well, usually what she would order. Yeah, but we're not wanting to know. We do want to know what she usually would order and all of that kind of stuff, a request, or what she'd usually do. But the police want to know what she did that night. What did you see that night? Okay? It's so frustrating how vague and safe, obviously, for herself she keeps it. Only always thinking about herself. Like, to me, it just really has become even more clear that Jenn Soto didn't care at all about Maddie. Not at all. It's so frustrating. Oh my goodness.
Was it your understanding from your sister that she had gotten dropped off about 8:30, she being Madeline?
8:30, 8:45, something around that time, yeah.
And what's your understanding as to when Stephan had gotten there? If you know. If you don't guess, it's fine.
Actually, while he's saying that, this is important. So there's things that you might think should be a certain way because that's just the way things go. But don't just guess based on past history that it's the same as what happened on that particular day. If you don't know, you don't know.
Then yeah, I'm not sure exactly what time he got there.
Okay. You were at work, so I just didn't know if, like, sometimes families check in, hey, I made it, by text or by phone call or anything like that. Do you not remember any of that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Convenient. I don't recall. I don't remember. Keep it vague. Well, her lawyer sure coached her on how to do this interview, right? Oh my goodness. Angie said, after listening to this 3 times, I still believe she's lying. Yeah, same. So you've also listened to it a few times, even me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Someone was talking about hypnotized lobsters. I think it was Peter Hyatt who said an innocent person rarely ever forgets the details of the last time they see their loved one, right? I wish Peter Hyatt would get on this case, please. We need his statement analysis. It would be so soothing to hear his thoughts, right? I haven't seen him do any episodes on this case, right? So anyway, and someone earlier was saying that Dr. John from Hidden True Crime was saying that Maddie was invisible to her mother. So it seemed like she was this invisible girl. No one could see, the obvious red flags, like her fatigue and her crying and just things like that, right? The teachers, her friends, and of course her mother. Oh my word, it makes me so mad. So yes, I've seen all of those as well. I too, just like you guys, try to, watch everything I possibly can. I'm studying this case all the time. It's one of those that just drives one nuts, And every walk I go on with Mr. Grizzly, and anytime he tries to take me out just to let's go sit by the lake for a while, I'm like, you know what? You know what's really weird? I have to tell him more about this case because I'm like, It's just like, you just can't believe what happened to Maddie. And for so many years, in plain sight. And then to think that she was murdered right after her 13th birthday. Her birthday was on the Thursday. She celebrated her birthday party on the Sunday of February 25th. And then that sunset we saw, there's like a little clip where she's like dancing in the, in the sunset. That's her last sunset ever. That was her last day alive. That is so sad. Oh my goodness.
How long were the 3 of you in your bedroom?
I'm going to say for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Madeline tell you about the party?
She was really happy.
Did she tell you what food they had there at the party?
Yeah, they had her favorites.
What are her favorites?
Puerto Rican food. So arroz con gandules.
All right, so you're going to have to translate to English. I know frijoles and arroz and a couple other things, but help me out.
If I recall correctly, she had requested rice. It's a type of rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
It's rice with pigeon peas.
Okay.
And pernil, which is, I'm not sure how to, it's a pork, but I'm not sure how they cook it.
Okay.
So it's cooked pork. That's typically what she requests for her parties. That's like her favorite meal.
Okay. And what kind of gifts did she get?
She got a lot of money.
Okay.
That's what she ended up showing me. I think she had a few trinkets, but most of it was just a big wad of money that she was so excited for.
All right.
Although Maddie told her friends that her mother either didn't give her much that year or nothing at all. Do you remember that? We'd read that. She was not happy with that. She was not happy that many of her friends had cancelled the day before. They weren't coming to her party. Wasn't happy with her gifts, things like that. So now she's like, a wad of money. Like, are you sure? And she's like, she was so excited about it. Are you sure? My goodness.
Is there any particular reason Stephan couldn't make it up to the party? Because it's my understanding he didn't exactly work or anything.
He wouldn't have been invited. The party was held at my mom's house, and my mom and him have never had a great relationship. She's never liked him. So he wouldn't have been invited to the party at all. It just would have been my whole family And then me, if I hadn't worked, I would have been there.
It's amazing how she sees herself as like, it's always been, from the beginning, you can hear she's estranged from her family, right? Right? Are we reading that? I don't know. It's just like, it's like my whole family, it would have been my whole family and then me. See? And obviously she would be. The family's not very impressed, clearly, with the boyfriend she's chosen. You know, the two of them sleeping all the time, I don't know, taking Adderall all day and medical marijuana. I don't know what they're doing all day. But it doesn't sound like much, nothing productive, and definitely nothing nice for Maddie. Terrible abuse for Madeline Soto. So, of course, I mean, Jen's mother, she had a gut instinct, I think. She's like, I don't like that guy. I don't know what it is. She actually said to the police, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I don't like that guy. And then she stated the obvious was like, well, he didn't work. He didn't contribute to the household. He didn't do anything. Remember, Maddie told her teachers, he was weird. He's weird. And the counselor actually said, why? Why do you say he's weird? And she's like, he just hangs around and eats our food and he makes me feel uncomfortable. Yes, that shame, man. If they could have only asked more questions, right? I'm not trying to blame the counselor or the teachers. I'm just like, oh my word, the red flags are like staring you in the face. Why does he make you feel uncomfortable is the next question. Oh my goodness. So frustrating. Don't you just wish we could all go back in time and just like get Maddie out of that situation? And unfortunately, there's so many other children in similar situations. That's what's so sad. And I think that's what's the importance of highlighting this case as well, is to raise awareness for situations like this. Because predators and groomers, they operate in plain sight. My goodness. Kim Watts said, thank you, G. With you from the Gabby case. Love that you are a true crime content creator. Love your work, integrity in this community. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in.
Okay. Now, during this 30 minutes that the three of you are in your bedroom, is Madeline engaging in any of her kind of nighttime routine or, you know, getting ready for bed? What else is going on, if anything?
We spent a long time talking about gifts and having her show me, and then we counted out her money. I can't remember if she had finished with all of her bedtime routine.
Okay. Does she brush her teeth at night?
In the shower.
In the shower? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that occurred before you got home?
Yeah.
And my understanding with her nighttime medication is that's something that you would like to make sure she had bedtime or so?
Something like that, yeah.
So were you present for that occurring, or did that occur after you got home?
That did not occur on my call. I believe I had instructed Maddie when she got home to go ahead and take them herself.
If you believe it, it's because you don't know it. I believe that I think she had done her nighttime routine. She doesn't know anything. She's clueless about Maddie's last day on Earth. That's what it sounds like to me. If we go with, remember we did the whole scenario, breakdown scenario 1, 2, and 3? Oh, I'm going to go back to scenario 1, Occam's razor, and I think maybe Stephan and Madeline had already gone upstairs. You know? And maybe Jenn was just like, oh, got home, had something to eat, went to bed. For all we know, this whole like sending her upstairs, I know there was text messages and things like that, but like the way that she talks is as if she didn't know what she was wearing, didn't know if she finished her nighttime routines. They were just talking about gifts and counting out the cash that she brought home, like, To me, the more I hear this interview, oh my word, it makes me so mad, because it sounds to me like Maddie was their cash cow. Right? It just sounds like what, you know, and I'm not just talking about that counting money. You'll hear it later. Just let me know if you hear what I hear. I'm just like, oh no. I have very bad speculations about, oh no. Like, it doesn't sound like Jenn cared about her at all. Right? And who knows what Stephan was filming and sharing. That's what I'm talking about. And so it's just like gifts, money. I don't know what she was wearing. No clue. Don't know what she ate. Don't know if she did her nighttime routines. Can't remember anything. And I know there's going to be some people that say, but it's April 18th. She wouldn't remember from a month ago. You would remember the last night, you should, that your daughter was alive. This should be traumatic. It doesn't sound traumatic for her. Do you think she sounds sad? Does she sound sad, traumatized, upset about her daughter being dead? You know what I mean? Murdered? I don't know about that. Oh my goodness. By the way, while I'm talking here, if you guys didn't see yesterday, I put out a video because I had contacted the jail where Stephan Sterns is, and I obtained his call log, so it's who's called him and when, right? And also his commissary list. So if you want to go there and be snarky as well, this guy's ordering pickles and a washcloth and all kinds of crap. So if you want to see that, the video is out there for you.
Okay. And is that something that she's allowed to do?
From time to time, yeah.
When you say they, is there, what my understanding was there was some hydroxyzine. Is there anything else she takes at night?
Just hydroxyzine.
All right. And the Miralax is when?
Miralax is...
So that would have been earlier while you were at work too if she took it?
Yeah.
May not have because she was at the party?
Yeah, because I had been training at work that week and we had been going back and forth with my mom's a lot, the Miralax wasn't consistent.
Okay. All right. Now, Madeline, does she lay out her clothes for school the next day, or is that something she gets in the morning, makes a game time decision like my kid?
Typically, it is a game time decision morning of.
Okay. What about this specific evening? Do you remember anything about it?
Yes. This evening, we had, I had already discussed prior to Stephan coming to visit that he was going to help me take Maddie to school that day. So because I knew that that was what was going to happen that night, I had asked Maddie, pick out your clothes, have everything ready, have your backpack ready, your water bottle, everything you need ready so that way you could just grab your stuff and head out. It won't be too much of a hassle in the morning. And so she did. She picked out her clothing. I asked her what she was wearing, and she told me what she had picked out. I said, okay, fine.
All right, so she picks it out, but does she physically take it out of somewhere, wherever she stores her clothes, and put it somewhere?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But she doesn't know. Inigo Montoya, what is the source of your information? Because we do not have her autopsy or toxicology report. So you say the food wasn't digested in her belly, so they know Maddie was dead. I don't think that's true. Thank you so much for the sticker. I'm skeptical about that. What's the source? Because we don't know that, and I'm so sorry to have to say this now, her body was limp when Stephan moved her from the front passenger seat to the trunk. So I don't know if she was already dead when, based on that and rigor mortis and all of that, when Jenn got home. I don't think so. And there were text messages and all of that. I think she would have most likely been murdered in the early morning hours, maybe even, if we go Occam's razor again, 2:30 in the morning when the roommates heard a whole bunch of noise in bedroom number 4. That sounds the most plausible. But, obviously, of course, we've explored scenario 1, 2, 3, and other ones as well. So go and check out those episodes if you haven't yet. Mary said laws need to change that allow perps like Jenn, who have guilty knowledge, to go free for testifying against someone who essays and kills their child, in my opinion. Right? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure if she took that clothes upstairs with her or anything like that.
All right. So you didn't see them in your room, and did you have the opportunity to kind of see her cubby part of the living room to see if she had put them on her bed or anything like that?
I hadn't seen them.
Does Madeline have like a water bottle or a hydro flask or whatever the kids call it that she likes to sleep with and bring up or bring wherever she's sleeping?
Typically not. That stays downstairs in her backpack, and then she'll clean it in the morning and then fill it back up and leave it in her backpack. That typically stays in the backpack.
Okay. Favorite stuffed animal or stuffed animals? Anything that always goes with her wherever she's sleeping?
She does have a few stuffies and blankies. Did I see any that day?
Yeah, specifically, did you see if she brought any of that stuff upstairs with her?
No, I didn't see any of that stuff upstairs.
Now,
When she said stuffies and blankies, didn't you just cringe a little bit based on how Stephan Sterns speaks? I'm just saying. Madeline was 13. Okay, she's 13. Damn, it's just like, didn't see that. Didn't know. And also the water bottle thing, just like, that was a long, I don't know. You don't even know. You're not being her mother. You're not reminding her to drink her water, to brush her teeth. Yeah, and as you said, rougher. I thought Jenn said Stephan double dosed her meds at night. In fact, Stephan, it was in the police reports where he said that he gave her an extra dose of medication, even though she didn't need it. So now she's like, yeah, I instructed her to take it. No, you didn't. Probably not. It sounds like you instructed Stephan to make sure that she took her meds, and he's like, gave her an extra dose. Even though she didn't need it. Like, okay, an extra dose of what? My goodness.
Separate question. Generally, habitually, like your attorney was saying, there's a difference between specific memory. But generally, would she do that? Not saying that you saw it that night.
Generally, would she do what?
Have stuffies and blankets and her favorite stuff.
Yes. She typically would.
So if Stephan says something like Maddie's building her nest and getting settled in, would that to you mean like her stuff is part of this nest, or what do you think that would mean, if you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you recall getting that text from Stephan that night that Maddie had settled into her nest for the night?
I don't remember that text now.
Okay.
No, doesn't remember that text either. You do not remember. Does she remember anything? This is annoying. This is like having one of those witnesses on the stand at a trial when we watch those together. They just go, I don't recall. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't recall. That's how the trial's going to go, isn't it? I can already see it. Oh my word, they're going to have her on the stand. I don't remember. I don't recall. Nah. Come on, man. Just Emmy1 said I watched this last night, and the whole time, all I could think was, I can't wait to watch Grizzly cover it. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Don't worry, you guys. I keep my eye on all of the stuff that's coming out. Of course, I'm in contact with all of these various agencies, and it all works very differently. I mean, there's the Northport Police Department, the Kissimmee Police Department, the Osceola County Police Department, the Osceola County Jail, and then the District Attorney's Office, and all of them have different things. And you got to go round and round, double check what they got today. Okay, so I'm constantly doing that. So is Grizzly Cat. We, the whole time, seeing what can we bring for you on this case to listen to see, to study, to analyze, right? So, yes, I'm very grateful that we're able to get this, but just always don't worry, okay? Sometimes I might just take a little, like a day or two, right? Because maybe I need to process some rage. Maybe I need to just need to take a walk, and then we'll be back. And of course, I like to study it first so that I can actually give you some meaningful commentary. So just remember that. Don't panic, because I see a lot of people are panicking in my inbox. Like, oh my word, you have missed this. No, chill, everyone. We will get to it, but we want to study it, okay? We want to make sure that we keep our eye on this and listen very carefully. What is Jenn saying? What inconsistencies will we hear today? Because there always are consistencies. And I cannot believe that she's just like, don't remember that text. You don't remember that text? The very last time, you don't think about it when Stephan said she's snuggling in now, she's made her nest. You don't think about that? Don't remember that text. That would have been the last memory that she has. Well, is it? What else does she know? That she would have of her daughter. Like, oh, she was snuggling in, making her nest. Doesn't remember that text. This person is not a mother. Grizzly Cat says, study, redact, process. That is so true. Yeah, that's what we do. Study, yeah, and redact. Oh my word, we have to redact as well. Sometimes we have to redact. If you watch my video on Stephan Sterns' commissary list, yeah, there as well. I'm like, ooh, gotta redact some phone numbers there, my goodness. Okay, Happy Louva, is that how I say that? Low. You said, love your show, Grizzly, hate it when you're not on, but understand you have a life. Well, I mean, just in a different time zone. At the time when all this came out, I was sleeping, guys. Getting some rest. Yesterday was a very big day as well. And remember, we have a second live stream coming up today as well. Okay, if you're watching live with me. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. Skip ahead to the next timestamp. Here we go. We're at 13:43. And I'm just shocked that Jenn Soto doesn't remember that. Nope, can't remember that text. Okay.
My understanding was that at some point you told them it was time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Do you recall about what time that was?
Around 11 o'clock.
So that's consistent with getting home at 10:30, having this half-hour discussion, and eating your pub sub? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right.
11:39, Jenn Soto. One would think by now you know that. A month and a half after your daughter's body was found, one would think that you've sat there for a minute and thought about it. Why are we sitting here thinking about it and she isn't? Like, wait a minute. She should be studying the timestamps and every single thing that Stephan Sterns said. If she really knew nothing, all the way, all the time, intensely. 23:39, 11:39, she sends the message to Stephan Sterns, make sure she goes to bed right now. And how ironic that that's when the roommate came home. I think it was more like, signal, roommate's home, by the way. Make sure she goes to bed right now. you know, as I say, the roommate just got in at 11:30. So could be like a little code between each other, like, make sure you're quiet because the roommate just came home, okay? So annoying.
Do they comply with your wishes to go upstairs when you say that at about 11 o'clock?
Yes, they do.
Is there any further communication between either you and Madeline or you and Stephan about, all right, kids, it's time to go to bed, anything like that? Or was that the last you had heard from either one of them that night?
Did he just say, all right, kids, it's time to go to bed? I like the subtle snark that this detective has for Stephan Sterns, you know, because I don't think he's asked it yet. It's coming up. I've listened to this a few times, as I say. I think it's still coming up where it's like, well, why, you know, oh yeah, it was earlier, right? Why was he not at the party? Because it's not like he worked or anything. When the detective said it, I'm like, yeah, you tell them. Let me just hear this one again. Let's go back to 20 seconds.
Is there any further communication between either you and Madeline or you and Stephan about, all right, kids, it's time to go to bed, anything like that? Or was that the last you had heard from either one of them that night?
I think at some point Stephan comes downstairs to use the restroom and then goes back upstairs, but after that I don't recall interacting or saying anything, so.
Okay. And my understanding is that you had some sort of parental controls over Maddie's phone. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure by parental controls exactly. I didn't have any limits or anything on the phone set up.
Well, like, for instance, if she wanted to install Game Pigeon, does that have to go through you?
Yeah. So any permissions for any apps she would have to ask me for.
All right, and does that ring a bell as to occurring that Sunday? Game Pigeon?
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. So that's the last time you hear from either one of them until the morning. My understanding is that Stephan comes down and is dealing with your dog. Is there any communication other than perhaps Stephan coming down to use the restroom? Is there any other communication that you have between Stephan and Maddie? Do you see them? Now, I've said communicate. Do you see them? Do you go up and check on them? Do you see Madeline or Stephan from the point you kick them out at 11 p.m. until you see Stephan at 8 in the morning-ish is what you guess for the dog?
No, I didn't see them.
Okay. Now, when you go to sleep, do you sleep through the night, or do you wake up and not have consistent good sleep?
I sleep through the night.
Okay.
So she sleeps through the night, but she remembers Stephan Sterns coming downstairs to use the restroom. Why the F would he do that? I don't know how else to say it. Why would he do that? There's a toilet right there next to bedroom number 4. There's one right there. Why is he like coming downstairs? I wonder about that. To do what? To fetch what? To tell her what? What's he doing that for? And how does she remember if she sleeps through the night? She said her meds usually knock her out and she sleeps. She didn't say it now. She said in previous interviews. The medication she takes normally knocks her out. To the point where a roommate said that actually someone had broken into a car, one of their cars, in the past, and they had to shake Jenn awake and she wouldn't wake up. And they were like, whoa. Eventually when she woke up, they said, what if there's a fire or something and you're knocked out like that? And she said, oh, someone will come get me. But yet she remembers Stephan coming downstairs in the middle of the night to use the restroom. Your restroom. Why would he do that? And why aren't you crapping on him for it? See, she doesn't ever crap on Stephan. She also overcoddles him and enables him. If we look at it in that context, right? It's terrible. Just like, oh yeah, he came downstairs. Or like, oh yeah, he was late, you know. We all agreed to leave at 2:30. We're getting to that. To pick Maddie up from school. But whatever, he was late, so I just left. Never going to happen. She would normally be like, why aren't you here? Like, what the hell is going on? We agreed to go together. No, he was just late. CBC said MS may not, so Maddie Soto, may not realize a missed period equals pregnancy, but Stephan Sterns, I will say, may have. Jenn Soto also talks about it. The thing I want to say about that is, you know, it could be plausible speculation, but Maddie's friend said that Maddie, I hate talking about this. It's not nice, but I just want to make sure it's clear, right? Maddie's friends said that they used to get their period at the same time. But then Maddie was late in February, 2 weeks late, and then got it. That's what her friend said. So I just want to remind you guys of that, because what Jenn Soto is going to say later in this interview as well is quite interesting regarding that. She can't remember Maddie getting her period that month. And of course, then the speculation's back on. Everybody's like, oh my word, she was pregnant. And it could be, but just remember, for people like Stephan Sterns, one could plausibly speculate that he killed her out of pure jealousy, control, losing control of her. Maybe her saying, I'm gonna tell on you. I want to tell people what you've done all these years. Or, I have a crush. I have a new boyfriend. We've seen cases like that before, where someone's life is taken because somebody else feels like they're losing control over that person, or, that they are jealous. So we've got to keep all of it on the table. Mary said, has it been considered if SS drugged Maddie in the condo but unalived in the car instead of the condo based on a limp body versus rigor? Yeah, we have spoken about that before. The police reports say that they believe that Madeline Soto left her home deceased. That's what the police reports say. So I also just stick to that. I try to go, whenever we have many questions like this, we go round and round, I'm like, okay, let's go back to the police reports, and there are many. In it, they said that they believe that she left her home deceased, and of course she was also probably carried out because she had clean white socks on when her body was found, right? Okay, so.
There wouldn't be any points in time where you get up and you're taking steps or just checking on your phone because you can't go back to sleep. As far as you remember, when you go to sleep, you're out until the dog thing in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you hear or see anything during those hours involving Stephan or Madeline?
I didn't hear or see anything that night.
All right. What's the first thing you remember when you wake up after having gone to sleep?
I wake up to Stephan trying to put the leash on the dog.
Okay. Now, is this the first time that you've ever woken up to Stephan trying to put a leash on your dog, or is that something that has occurred before in the past?
I'm going to say this is the first time. It's not normal for any of us to put the leash on the dog on the bed, because if he's on top of any, bed, couch, anything, he'll pee. He gets really nervous. You have to do it on the floor. So I found it really weird that he did that, but...
All right, so let me ask it a little more broadly. Is this the first time Stephan's ever come into your room while you're sleeping to take the dog out for you in the morning?
I can't recall if he's something before.
Okay. Did you find it unusual then, or what did you think when this is occurring?
When it happened, I think I was more... I found it off, but I was more worried over the dog. I was like, please don't pee on the bed. I don't want to do laundry.
Okay.
Wow. I found it a bit off, but I was more worried about the dog. Yeah. Never a truer statement, Jen. Could I roll enough about that? Yeah, something was off, but I was more worried about the dog peeing on the bed because I didn't want to do laundry. Did you hear that? I mean, you're not asking, why did you use my restroom last night? What are you doing? How's Maddie? Why are you putting the dog on the bed when you know we don't do that? Why can't you get the leash on the dog when your parents breed poodles and you love animals and know dogs well? What are you doing? What are you doing in my room? Why are you up so early? There's a million questions, right? But she's like, I found it off, but I was more worried about the dog. Okay, didn't want him to pee on the bed because I just really didn't want to do laundry. Oh, don't worry. Stephan Sterns will do the laundry for you all day long after murdering your daughter, by the way. Oh my goodness. Kathleen said, as a single mom, having raised an only child, you operate as one unit. This woman is not a parent at all. Right? Angie said she's so lazy and entitled. This is one very snarky Saturday, if you're watching live with me. And we're going to continue later because we're going to talk about the Sandra Birchmore case as well. Another devastating case. Let me just, you can hear this again. Just listen to how she says it. Listen.
I can't recall if he's something before.
Okay. Did you find it unusual then, or what did you think when this is occurring?
When it happened, I think I was more. I found it off, but I was more worried over the dog. I was like, please don't pee on the bed. I don't want to do laundry.
Okay.
So I was more anxious over that. He put the dog on the leash and told me to lay down and go back to sleep. And I said, okay.
So were you not laying down when he tells you to go back and lay down?
No, when he put the leash on the dog, I shot off the bed because I was going to help him. I was like, no, let me do it. And he's like, no, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this.
Okay.
I said, okay.
Now, do you go back to sleep, or do you check your phone, or do anything?
I think I go back to sleep. I think I look at anything.
In this period of time that you have been awoken by Stephan, do you hear or see anybody else in your household?
I hear somebody in the kitchen. I'm not sure who it was.
Okay. Could you identify it by size, like their steps? Could you identify gender by their voice? Anything like that? Well,
all I heard was sounds of like cabinets shutting, like somebody in there shutting, like looking for something and shutting.
So you don't recognize your own daughter's voice? Obviously, we know she wasn't speaking that morning, but like, I heard people in the kitchen. And in previous interviews, she's like, I heard people in the kitchen, didn't know it was in the kitchen. Yeah, there was no one in the kitchen at that point except Stephan Sterns. So this makes sense, actually, that she's like, it's just hearing someone like opening and closing cupboards. Looking for something? Yeah, what was he looking for? Would love to know. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so Tricky Vicky said, has she got immunity for sure? No, not for sure. No, not for sure. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to say it from my perspective, what I'm understanding and hearing. She doesn't have immunity for sure. What they said at the beginning of this interview, which is everybody in a bit of a frenzy, I understand because everyone wants to be very upset if she does, right? But they said that she's got derivative use immunity for this interview, which is a type of protection given to a person who is forced to testify in a criminal case. It means that the person's testimony cannot be used against them in a future prosecution. However, the government can still prosecute if they can prove that their evidence came from a different source. I hope that makes sense. So, is there a different source for how she may be quite far from innocent? Is there a different source? That would be great. But anyway, for this interview, they needed her to know, don't worry about all the other crap you've said before, all the other lies and inconsistencies. Just tell us the truth now, okay? And I'm still not sure I'm hearing the truth now. Are we hearing the truth now? Are we getting closer to it? I don't know. Well, obviously, because now it's just like, I don't recall, I don't remember, I don't know. Vagueness. Psych fact. Thank you so much for your sticker and welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you all for being here. I know we started this live stream quite early for a Saturday, especially for many of you in the USA. Of course, for me, it was 5 p.m. when I started, but for many of you, it's early. Probably still having coffee and being like, damn, she's starting early today. But it's because we have 2 live streams today, a lot to cover today on this Saturday. So thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you later as well. Okay, so let's just go back a few seconds so it's all in context of this freaking kitchen talk. Here we go.
In this period of time that you have been awoken by Stephan, do you hear or see anybody else in your household?
I hear somebody in the kitchen. I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure who it was.
Note she said, I hear somebody in the kitchen. She didn't say I hear people in the kitchen this time. I hear somebody in the kitchen. Yeah, that's probably Stephan Sterns. I don't know what he's scratching around for. But yes, you hear somebody. Don't know who it was. Somebody looking in the cupboards for something? Yeah, probably the alleged killer.
Okay. Could you identify it by size, like their steps? Could you identify gender by their voice? Anything like that? Well,
all I heard was sounds of like cabinets shutting, like somebody in there shutting, like looking for something and shutting.
Okay.
Was he looking for his little raspberry cheese Danishes that he's going to take along as patkos, otherwise known as car food? I don't know what you guys call it. In South Africa, we call it patkos. When you pack food for the car, for the ride. And he's like, yeah, I brought those along. Why? I thought you're going to McDonald's. Also, why are you going to McDonald's that early? You left at like 7:15. Why? School starts at 9:28, according to Jenn Soto. Why are you leaving so early, bro? What you looking in that kitchen for? Making your what is that coffee that he had there in jail now? Keef's coffee. Making some instant coffee there. What you doing? He probably was. You know what? If we were a fly on that wall, he probably was making himself coffee. The audacity of Stephan Sterns, it's like, it's next level, okay? To think that he drove around with Maddie strapped into the front seat of that car for 2 hours. I mean, the audacity. What if he was in a car crash? What if the police stopped him? What if anything happened? What if there was a roadblock? How would that go? Maybe he wanted to be in a car crash. I don't know. Be like, whoops. Who knows? But like, who does that? So he was probably making himself, you know what? The cabinet thing, oh my word. He was probably making himself a cup of coffee just before like going out on his morning mission, as he called it. Yuck. Okay, keep going. I hope you guys are as angry as me, okay? I don't want to be angry alone. Be angry with me, okay? Sister Golden Hair, thank you so much. You say top. Thank you very much. Okay.
Now, if your daughter had been awake, would she come in and say goodbye to you before school or not? Just let you sleep?
I would have hoped she would have come by and say goodbye to me. I can't remember if this is one of the first times that Stephan actually took her to school, so.
Oh, I thought he took him every now and then. I thought that that Maddie was so embarrassed of his hoopty. Didn't she call it a hoopty car or something? That word. So rehearsed because both of them said it. Jenn Soto and Stephan Sterns both like that hoopty vehicle. And they're like, what the hell is that? And they're like, an embarrassing car. But he wasn't there all the time in his dad's car. He was a few times, but his dad said not all the time. Stephan Sterns had a car registered in his name, sitting there at the parents' house. So this one was in better condition, though. So he used his dad's car, right? But even there, she's like, wow, the way she laughs. I would have hoped she would have said goodbye to me. No, not funny. And you know what, Jenn Soto? Is she watching? I would have hoped that you got your ass out of bed to say goodbye to her. How about that? Did you ever think of that? She's like, I would have hoped she would have come and said goodbye to me. No, you get up. You say goodbye to your daughter. She's on her way to school. She had a late night, clearly, based on your story. Watching Sister Act till 11, going upstairs with your freaking predator ex-boyfriend. She'd be tired if she was still alive. Why aren't you getting up? Why aren't you checking on her? Why aren't you going with to McDonald's, seeing as you didn't actually celebrate her birthday with her, huh? I have so many questions. Okay, hold me back, everyone. Hold me back. Listen again as she says it.
When he put the leash on the dog, I shot off the bed because I was going to help him. I was like, no, let me do it. And he's like, no, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Now, do you go back to sleep or do you check your phone or do anything?
I think I go back to sleep. I can't look at anything.
In this period of time that you have been awoken by Stephan, do you hear or see anybody else in your household?
I hear somebody in the kitchen. I'm not sure who it was.
Okay. Could you identify it by size, like their steps? Could you identify gender by their voice? Anything like that? Well,
all I heard was sounds of like cabinets shutting, like somebody in there shutting, like looking for something and shutting.
okay.
I wonder if he was looking for like cleaning products as well. What was he looking for? Like wet wipes, gloves, cleaning stuff. Who knows what he was actually looking for? I wouldn't doubt that he also made himself a cup of coffee. But also, what was he looking for? Because it would have to plausibly be him. It could be anyone else, but the others said they didn't get up at that time. So, interesting.
Now, if your daughter had been awake, would she come in and say goodbye to you before school or not? Just let you sleep?
I would have hoped she would have come by and say goodbye to me. I can't remember if this is one of the first times that Stephan actually took her to school, so I would have.
I have to stop and snark again. We'll keep listening. Just like, you don't remember if that was one of the first times that he took Maddie to school. I thought you said he took her a few times, every now and then. He said it as well, maybe 2 or 3 times. Why would you not remember who took your only child to school ever in her life? Why? Why do you not know that he ever did that? It doesn't make any sense. Sipe said, appreciate the snarkery, adds appropriate levity to a sad situation. Well, I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's coming from a place of deep rage. I'm very, very upset. And obviously beyond that is devastation. So much sadness for Madeline Soto. Judy said he asks great questions, doesn't he? He really does ask great questions, right? Also, Misty Harris said trash bags. Ooh, could be that as well. He's probably digging around for Danishes, trash bags, cleaning products, and maybe making himself a cup of coffee.
Hope she would have said good night, but I'm not sure.
All right, so do you fall back asleep?
I do.
And when do you wake up and how do you wake up?
I wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. Yeah, I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. I get ready. I think at around 9:30, 9:45, I leave for my doctor's appointment.
Okay. So in this period of time from when you're waking up and getting ready, do you see anybody else in your home?
At this point, I'm not too sure. I know throughout the day I've seen my roommate in the kitchen cooking and doing her thing, but I don't recall if it was at this time.
Did you see your daughter this morning on the 26th?
No.
Did you have any texts or phone calls or any other type of communication through any possible app on your phone? Like, hey mom, love you at school, whatever. Any communications from Madeline?
Anything from her? Nothing.
All right. How about from Stephan by the time that you wake up at 9? Any texts or communication from him? Maddie's dropped, I'm off to the game store or whatever he's doing?
No. I didn't hear back from Stephan until 10:20ish, and he had told me he left his phone at home that whole morning by accident. And I had asked him how the morning went, how was Maddie, and he let me know that this morning went great. We made great time. She got busy super quick. He was going to take her to McDonald's for breakfast, but she changed her mind. All she wanted to do was sleep in the car, so he let her sleep. He took her to school and dropped her off where he said he dropped her off, and that was it.
Why is she still sticking to that story? Why? It's as if she's still telling the story that she's told herself in her head. Of course, that could be detachment, dissociation. She might not have dealt with this yet. I get it, okay? However, why not say, well, he told me that she just wanted to sleep in the car. Obviously, now we know that she was dead. Yeah, reality check, Jen. Come on. You know this now. This is April 18th of 2024, okay? Your daughter's body was found on March 1st, all right? She knows a lot of things by this point. And she's like, yeah, he went they were going to McDonald's, and then she's just repeating the same story. If I were her, okay, and I can't. We can't really put ourselves, I really can't relate to her at all. Okay, I don't even have children, but I think I would be a good mother based on the type of mom I am to the cats, okay? And just like, I'm very protective. I'm protective of people in general. You know, I'm very safety oriented. I'm protective. I'm observant. Like, come on, man. What is Jen doing with her only daughter? But so it's difficult to say if I were in her shoes. I don't know. But in that situation, one would hope, okay, that you've come to terms with it. Like, holy crap, that guy was like a predator. He was a groomer, okay? She even said it to the police in one interview, like, well, obviously he's been grooming and abusing my child. Okay, so you said that. And they said it seemed like she'd accepted, you know, that she was sexually abused. But she said the sex stuff wasn't evil, but murder. Yeah, that was evil. Okay, so if murder was evil, why can't you say, Well, Stephan said that, this is the timeline, that he left and they made really good time and they had time to kill, and that Maddie just wanted to sleep the whole way. Then insert your new information. But obviously now we know that she was deceased. Obviously, in hindsight. That would be so honest in this interview. Obviously, she's trying to not incriminate herself or something, but still. I think she would look a lot less guilty too if she just said, well, obviously now we know that's a load of crap that he told all of us. Obviously, and show some anger. Where's her anger? I want to know. Where's her anger? We're all more angry about what happened to Maddie than Maddie's own mother. Isn't that sad? That is so sad. Oh my goodness. Mom of one, welcome. I just want to say, for those of you, I know that commentary is not for everyone. I know it adds on a lot of time. I will be publishing the audio only interview for you, as I do always, okay? Very soon, all right? So we have another live stream later, and then I'll be publishing that for you so that you can just listen to it without commentary if you want to. I always appreciate it when you guys do, because then you're studying it with me, okay? So just got to remain calm. Okay, here we go. Just repeating the same crap. Here we go. Let's listen to more of it.
And you had a 10:15 appointment for a blood draw?
Yes.
And did you go anywhere else prior to getting to your appointment for your blood draw? Did you go directly there or not directly there? That's basically the question.
Oh, I went directly there.
Right. And after your blood draw, did you go directly back home?
Yes.
About what time did you get home?
Sometime between 11:15 and 11:30.
Did you have any other appointments or doctor's appointments later in the day?
I was supposed to have had one, but I canceled it
When did you cancel it?
that same day
Why did you cancel it?
because it was a $350 Botox appointment that I didn't want to spend the money on. I changed my mind last second.
You changed your mind last second. That on the day that your daughter's body was put where it was found. Last second, she had a $350 Botox appointment. Just remember, it was just Maddie's big 13th birthday. Jenn wasn't at the party. Maddie told her friend she was very upset that her mother wasn't there, that her mother didn't give her much this year. Oh, you didn't even give her much money, because you usually just throw money at her, right? Not actually really buying her a gift or something. Maybe she knows Maddie would rather spend it on something that she could want to go and shop for, whatever it is. Oh, okay, so you hardly gave her anything. Along the way, you threatened to disown her when she was 18. She's already telling everyone she wants to go live in the woods when she turns 13. Jenn plays that down as well. Now, you booked yourself a $350 Botox appointment for Monday, February 26th, and you just canceled it last second. You didn't feel like going. Previously, she said it was too expensive, so she canceled it. She made it sound like, when we first heard it in other interviews, it sounded like, oh, so you had like a blood test, okay, on your day off, the day that you needed big time rest for. You needed good rest for her day off. Just remember that. So 10:15, she had a blood draw appointment. I wonder if that had to do with her new job, if they were, I don't know, testing for who knows what. Okay, but she had that. And then she said she had another doctor's appointment in the afternoon, but she canceled it because it was too expensive. And I was like, I wonder if it was like a follow-up or like, what would that be? Botox? Botox. Okay, for herself. Ooh, this woman is so self-absorbed. Can't even. Nerdy Cat says, and $350 for Botox, but not a birthday present. It's sickening. It seems to me like a lot of people have noticed, psychologists analyzing this, that she's very self-absorbed. Okay? Yeah. The more we listen, we're like, damn, but she's really, really self-absorbed. Like, I can't even believe it, thinking about her Botox, right? Indie Girl said $350 Botox appointment and your daughter doesn't have her own room? That too. That's just so much. She should have spent the money on a 13th birthday gift for Maddie. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
When you get home from your blood draw appointment, is there anybody else at your home?
When I get home from blood draw. Yes, Stephan was home.
All right. And can you describe what he's wearing, what he's doing, his demeanor, what's going on?
I can't recall what he's wearing. It might be a red shirt with a graphic on it.
Okay.
It might be a red shirt with a graphic on it. The same shirt the police found evidence of on his phone of sexual abuse. That's why I say, if you listen very carefully, it sounds like the red shirt that he was wearing initially, because he wore a red shirt, then he changed to a blue shirt, then he apparently changed to a black shirt. Okay, that's the same shirt that he may have worn that night, and there may have been sexual abuse that night as well. Because police talk about that red shirt and things in the evidence they found on his phone. That's scary. Now, young black economist said this case brings not only the mama bear rage, but also elephant rage. The whole herd will protect the young, even if it's not its own baby, right? This should enrage everyone. This was just a little girl. Absolutely. I'm from South Africa, so we have a lot of elephants there, and it's just amazing to see that. You're right. The whole herd will protect the young, even if it's not its own baby. Yeah. Yep. We're basically like a herd of elephant now. Because this is incredibly upsetting. And I hope this will spread awareness and be an example of like how, number one, not to be a mother. Okay. How to read the room, see the red flags, open your eyes, protect your children, but also to be so blasé, just like, oh, whatever. I didn't see this, didn't see that. Well, then look. Or let someone adopt her. You know what I mean? Like, let Maddie stay with her grandparents. Why can't she stay with her dad? Because I still want to know. I want clarity on that. But I think her dad had fought for custody for her, and then Jenn had fought for custody, and then Jenn got custody of her. Something like that. But there's so many people that loved Maddie and would have taken her in a second and not abused her. Oh my goodness. Shiloh Mary, thank you so much.
He's sitting in my bedroom on my desk.
Prior to you getting there, he's in your room? Or is that where you guys go to talk?
That he was hanging out there in my room.
Okay.
My room is kind of like the general hangout spot.
Okay.
I walk into my room. He's sitting there on the computer chair. He's talking, acting normal, asking about the morning and how everything went, and that he let me know the errands that he ran that morning or what he was up to.
And what did he say he was up to?
He said he had dropped Maddie off at school and then afterwards went to a vape shop so he can buy vaping things.
Okay.
But that the store wasn't open, so he waited a long time for them to open. They never did. So he drove around, killed time, and then eventually made it back to my house.
Drove around, killed time after allegedly killing Maddie. Yeah. Hello. She's still not... Doesn't she get it? If she's watching now, don't you get it? Do you get it now? Because here we are now. What's the date? Time is flying. September 7th. Do you get it now? Do you get it now? My goodness. This is just like... It's just unbelievable. And to be like, oh, my room was the general hangout room. Oh, really? Because you said that Maddie's makeshift room was actually where she hung out or you guys hung out. Because I was still like, why would her room be the hangout room? It makes more sense that Jen's is the hangout room. But still. Oh, he's sitting in your room. Oh, with the croc right there in the corner. You guys will be like, stop talking about the croc again. Croc's right there in the corner. It's right there under your nose, Stephan Sterns. But yeah, I forgot that. Put one in the trash. One's right there. He's sitting at the computer doing what? Deleting what? What are you deleting, bro? Why are you sitting at the computer? Remember when I was on Core TV and Vinny was like, what was he doing that whole time? I was like, probably playing a video game. Probably. He was probably there just sitting there like, browsing the internet. I don't know, doing what? What was he doing? Who knows what he was Googling as well. They better have gotten a search warrant for that computer. What was he doing? My goodness. Pets, cats, welcome. Cherry Ann Wood said, I went without a haircut for 3 years. It was too expensive because I'm a single mom and my son comes first. She doesn't deserve the mom title. Right? Yeah, one would usually prioritize one's children, right? Make sacrifices for them, make sure they have the best life, that they're number one. For Jenn Soto, she's number one in her own life.
10:20. When later on, when I got home and he was home, we started discussing, or he started telling me that he was going to go back out to run a few more errands in a little bit down 182. And he gave me the name of a few stores that he might stop at. And I'm like, okay. I asked him if he wanted to meet me at my house by 2:30 so so that we can go pick up Maddie from school together. And he said, yeah, he'll be back by 2:30. And I said, okay.
So was that the plan, to get her together, or was it ever discussed that he would get her alone?
The plan was for us to get her together.
Okay. All right. And so does he leave before you leave?
Actually, before this, while we were still discussing, while we were having the conversation in my room, he did mention at one point, while he was sitting there, that he had to reboot his phone, or that he had to update his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you said?
And what was it? He had to update his phone, so I told him, stop avoiding it, do it. Like, updates take a while, like, do it. And while he was...
So you encouraged him to do it, to reboot his phone, to do that update, which like, ooh, what did I just do? Can't believe it. I just factory reset my phone. I worry about her telling him, do it. Yeah, do it. Yeah, probably like factory reset your phone. I want to know if she factory reset her phone. I want to know. These things bother me. Was Jenn Soto's phone factory reset? That would be so interesting. Was Maddie's phone factory reset? What was deleted on the phone? On all the phones? I would love to know that. Oh my goodness. Phoebe said the accidental factory reset. Yeah. And that was at noon that day, and again at midnight that night. He did 2 accidental, if you're listening, I'm doing air quotes, factory resets. 2 of them. Yes. I want to know what happened to her phone as well. That would be interesting. And also, why does she believe that? Oh my goodness. He just like accidentally reset or factory reset his phone. You believe that? Strange. Strange day that. Kim said now she's encouraging him. Sus. I know, right?
Updating his phone. He said, I don't know what I did, but I just factory reset my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's weird. I didn't know that you could do that. He said, yeah, a button popped up and I pressed it and it just reset my entire phone. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Oh, she's like, oh, that sucks. That's so weird. Not like, oh crap, do you still have my number? Do you need my number again? Did you lose all your contacts? Like, what's happening? No panic, just like, oh, that sucks that you factory reset your phone. Anyway, glad I encouraged you to do that. Wendy Duck said, gee, I absolutely love your commentary and your empathy and compassion for victims and their families. You are a shining star. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Please like and share so others can also learn this infuriating information. Okay, so they can follow this case closely with us. We're on it. We're still on it. If there's more information that comes out, we will be continuing to study this case because I just cannot stand the red flag, the deception in plain sight, and like no consequences whatsoever. It makes me so angry. I guess the consequences at this point is internet hatred. I think she would know if Jenn Soto is watching it all. Yeah, many people, we're shaking our heads. This was not okay. This was definitely not okay. She's not popular in Florida. Nope. Or around the world either. All the way in Switzerland, Australia, Hong Kong, Sweden, Germany. Yeah, no, we're shaking our heads.
So does he leave before you do to go do these errands he was telling you about?
Yes, he does leave.
Do you stay at home until it's time to go get Madeline?
Yes.
Do you hear anything from Stephan while he's out doing these errands?
No.
Did you? I wish they asked. They can't ask this. I get what they're doing, but you remember she's not really saying. She's not filling in the blanks now of what she knows now. I mean, hey Jen, did you know that your daughter's body was in the trunk while he was hanging out sitting at your computer? Yes, your daughter's body was in the trunk. You were sitting there chilling with him while he was factory resetting his phone. He was also doing laundry between 10:30 in the morning and 11:15. And you said you got home when now? Oh, 11:15 to 11:30? Did you notice that there was any laundry done? Did you hear laundry being done? Did you hear the tumble dryer on? Did you notice a huge pile of blankets suddenly on Maddie's bed? No? Interesting. Yeah, Cara said, remember? Cara, it's raining me in there. Remember? To be a lighthouse instead. We're being the lighthouse for Maddie. We're being the lighthouse. Here and there, I'm gonna transform into a tank for Jenn. If you don't know what we talk about, you gotta watch the Sean Finnegan trial. Judge Don Ash said, be the lighthouse, not a tank. Okay. So thank you so much for that. Okay. We are 26 minutes in, 26 minutes, 30 seconds. This audio is 1 hour and 9 minutes and 20 seconds long.
So 2:30 rolls around. Is Stephan back home yet?
No. At this point, I leave.
Do you try and call him or text him or communicate with him?
Yeah, I had been calling him like maybe starting 15 minutes before I was supposed to leave just to see where he was.
Did he answer?
No. I leave at 2:30. Around 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him. And he said, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at home again on accident. I was driving down 192 and my tire exploded or shredded. And I had to pull over into one of the plazas and change my tire. He said he hurt his thumb doing that.
Okay.
And that,
He got a boo-boo, everyone. Did she get him a Band-Aid? The Band-Aid on her freaking side table. Oh, you hurt your thumb? Don't worry, I'll be back just now. Why is she not angry that he like missed the pickup time? This whole day, like with Jenn, anything flies, hey? Just whatever. We agreed for you. I don't know. I'm just not like that. Can't relate at all. Just like, you said you'd be here at 2:30 so we can go pick up Maddie together. Where the heck are you? Oh, I forgot my phone again. Why are you forgetting your phone all day, bro? Why's your phone? And it would be there in the house. Why does she not notice that? It would probably be in her room. Wow. Okay, so Itty Bitty Diggy said, is Jenn medicated 24/7 and thought process impaired because of it? Still no excuse? Could be. Who knows? Could be.
yeah, he was late and didn't make it back on time for that reason.
All right. When you leave to go pick Madeline up at 2:30, do you take her phone with you?
I do.
And how is it that you come to get her phone to go with you?
At some point in the morning, I was organizing and putting things away, and I walked into her bedroom and I saw her phone on her dresser. And I just assumed, oh, she must have left it here while getting dressed. And
Oh, what were you organizing and putting away? Do tell, do tell. Was it the laundry that your ex-boyfriend was doing? Why was he doing so much laundry? What were you organizing? Please tell us. Why did you not notice the puddle of vomit on the floor in your daughter's bedroom? I still want to know about that. What is that liquid on the floor? Under Maddie's bed. You didn't notice the huge pile of blankets? You were organizing what? Because you don't organize anything by the looks of it. So what were you organizing? Oh my goodness, there's her phone. Shh, can you believe it? But you didn't notice his phone that he left behind. Eh? And Matt is like, you know she went through his phone, right? Kay Miller said, no one forgets their phone anymore. Lol, you turn around and get it. Even that, but even when he's like, oh no, I forgot my phone. And then I had this flat tire and I even hurt my thumb. I mean, wouldn't one say, oh man, you forgot your phone so you couldn't even call anyone? Like, how did you get help? Like, are you okay? None of that either. Who cares if he's okay or not at this point? But you know what I mean. She should also not care at this point. It's April 18th of 2024 when this interview took place. Maddie's body was found on March 1st. Oh my goodness. I believe she was also, I remember hearing that Maddie's body was cremated and the ashes were sent straight to her biological dad. That was interesting as well. Denise, welcome.
forgot it.
Okay. Was it on?
Yes.
And sometimes when you bump or move phones, the notification screen comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to do that, and did you see if there was any incoming notifications that she had missed?
I hadn't seen any, no.
Okay. All right. So you go to school, and due to time constraints, like an NFL football game, we're going to kind of...
Like an NFL football game. We're going to go to that now. I just want to remind you guys, when they say, was Maddie's phone on? It's because Maddie's phone was unplugged from the charger at 7:04 a.m. They didn't specify where the charger was, but her phone data shows that the phone was unplugged from the charger at 7:04 a.m. and it was powered off at 7:16 a.m. and then it was powered back on at around 11 a.m. So, just before Jenn got home again, Maddie's phone was powered back on, you see? Miss K says, G doesn't understand how baked Jenn is. I don't care how baked she is. You know, if there's an emergency situation, whether she's baked or not, that would be speculation. She could be because she had the medical MJ. I get that. But like to not have a single care in the world about your only daughter and all the red flags that are in her face. I don't even care how baked she is. Then wake up. Sober up immediately, no matter what you're on or what you're doing, because like things are not adding up right now, right? She's just like, whatever. Lisa, welcome. KB said, I roll my eyes so hard they get stuck in my head. Right?
Jump ahead a little bit. My understanding is that you want to be first in line, and you have to get there early to do that, and I understand that.
Yeah.
She doesn't come out.
She doesn't know.
Did you call her phone?
I did.
Why did you do that?
Because I forgot I had it with me. I was like, where is she? Why isn't she out yet? So I start calling her phone, and then I start realizing I'm hearing vibrating, and then I look down, and I see her phone's with me. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
How am I going to get a hold of her? Because I'm the first in line. The cars behind me already have children. They're full. They're waiting for me to leave.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of jump ahead. Did Matt?
29 minutes. Okay, so Dawn, good point. You said he forgot his phone, but he went back to get the clicker. But even that, even when he went back to that complex to get the clicker, that's his story. He says he ran into the house, got it, and left. Okay, so you ran into the house. Did you, though? And if you did Jen see you? Jen, did you hear him come back into the home? Did you hear the door open? Because apparently he forgot his gate clicker and says he ran into the home. No, didn't hear that. Oh, okay, so did he not come into the home? Don't know. I was fast asleep. I don't know. Say something. I wish they asked that, right? And yeah, if he ran into the home, he would remember his phone. And he also did it twice that day. I mean, he did many things many times, okay? Like, ooh, twice accidentally factory reset his phone. But also twice accidentally forgot his phone at the house. Like, no. He thinks he's so smart. Oh my word, what a dumbass though. My goodness, right? Lakeside Lawyer said it's not funny. No, it's not funny. This is not funny. This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, if you're saying that based on me, like, laughing for a second or smiling, it's out of pure anger. So freaking upset with Jenn Soto in the situation and what happened to Maddie. Oh my goodness. Denise, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, if you're saying it to Jenn, it's not funny because she's like, oh yeah, I was calling her phone. You see, there she does sound quite baked. Like someone said, she doesn't understand how baked she is. Yeah, she sounds pretty baked in the car. They're like, oh yeah, there I was at the school. I called her phone. Phone started vibrating. Oh yeah, I've got a phone. Oh my word, Jenn. That is not funny. Why are you giggling at that? Your daughter's body was already placed out there on Hickory Tree Road by your freaking ex-boyfriend, Predator Groomer, who didn't even make it to pick her up. And you're just like, oh yeah, her phone was just like, you know, I heard something vibrating next to me, like, what the hell is that? Oh yeah, it's her phone, I got it. Like, duh. Either these two are extremely dumb or high or just don't care at all about Maddie whatsoever and thought they're very smart and then they're going to get away with this. She might. I don't know if she will.
Ellen ever complained to you about believing that Stephan had taken her Christmas money?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Christmas money went missing. And we were both, I don't even know how to explain this. We had collected all of her envelopes with Christmas money and consolidated into one. I'll put all her money into one.
Yep.
And then I said, I will put this somewhere safe. And I thought I had put it in my nightstand. A few days later comes around, whatever. We start looking for it or asking for it or something like that, and we can't find it. We can't find it at all.
So let me just narrow it down. Did she accuse Stephan of taking it?
I'm not sure if she did directly. We both had the suspicion, but we're like...
You both had the suspicion that Stephan Sterns stole Maddie's Christmas money, and you still didn't kick him out of the house? Did you have a suspicion that he was sexually abusing your daughter ever? No? Maybe? Okay. So, but you had a suspicion he was stealing Maddie's Christmas money out of your nightstand. And then you didn't confront him, you didn't kick him out, nothing like that, right? Buddy, Hembry said, is this interview before or after Stephan Sterns is charged and arrested? Stephan Sterns was already charged and arrested on February 28th, 2 days after Maddie went missing, right? After her body was last seen in his vehicle. And he was arrested based on evidence found on his phone, based on CSAM charges, right? Over 60 of them. First was sexual battery, then the CSAM charges, and then only in April of 2024, and it was before, wait. I think it was April 24th. What was the date he was charged with murder? Later, they added the murder charge. It was sometime in April. So that could be a good question, actually, for the exact date. I think it was April 24th. But at that point, they'd already found Maddie's body on March 1st. They already said this is a homicide investigation, and Stephan Sterns is the prime suspect. There were many press conferences. We watched all of those together. So, like, he's already sitting in jail. She already would be aware that he sexually abused Maddie for years. Probably from when she was like 8 years old, based on the evidence on his phone. Imagine how much other evidence there could be. And there he sits, no bond. Now he's facing the death penalty and was charged with murder. Like, oh my goodness. Wow, okay.
No, could he have? No, I don't think so. But I eventually found that money.
Okay, I was just gonna.
See, there she says, I eventually found that money. Yeah, but you suspected that he stole Maddie's Christmas money. Why can't you remember that? Maddie was wondering, like your child was wondering, I think your boyfriend stole my Christmas money. You know, also, why are you putting it in an envelope and putting it all together for what? Putting it all together for Maddie? Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you're collecting Maddie's Christmas money, putting an envelope in your nightstand. What, to book your next Botox appointment? Or what are we talking about? Shame, man. I'm going back a few seconds so you can hear that whole sentence in context.
I don't even know how to explain this. We had collected all of her envelopes with Christmas money and consolidated into one. I'll put all her money into one.
Yep.
And then I said, I will put this somewhere safe. And I thought I had put it in my nightstand. A few days later comes around, whatever. We start looking for it or asking for it or something like that, and we can't find it. We can't find it at all.
So let me just narrow it down. Did she accuse Stephan of taking it?
I'm not sure if she did directly. We both had the suspicion, but we're like, no, could he have? No, I don't think so. But I eventually found that money.
Okay, I was just gonna, how did the mystery end? All right, so you just started this job at...
Okay, so I went to look, and on the State Attorney's Office 9th Judicial Circuit, there was a press release from Andrew Bain, obviously the State Attorney. And so what it says is immediate release, and it was on April 24th. Wow, that was 6 days after this. Then it said Stephan Sterns indicted for first-degree murder of Madeline Soto, Osceola County, Florida. On Wednesday, an Osceola County grand jury indicted Stephan Sterns on first-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. And then they go through the timeline as well. State Attorney Andrew Bain released the following statement. Building a strong criminal case requires working closely with law enforcement, and our office began working with deputies and the Kissimmee police in the very early stages of this investigation. Over the past nearly 8 weeks, we have over 8 weeks. So this was a week before he was actually indicted on that murder charge. But they say over the past nearly 8 weeks, we have collaborated with our law enforcement partners to collect and review a tremendous amount of evidence and information. Extensive death investigations can typically take 6 weeks or longer, but because of the solid police work and work for the prosecutors assigned to the case, we were successful in presenting this case to the grand jury in a relatively short time and securing a first-degree murder indictment. Madeline deserves justice, and our office will do everything legally possible to ensure the defendant is held accountable for his actions and the community and Madeline's family receive closure. This indictment signifies a crucial step forward in our quest for justice and a testament to our commitment to honoring Madeline's memory, Kissimmee Police Department Chief Betty Holland stated. So, wow, that was 6 days after this interview that he was indicted on the murder charge. But Jenn Soto already knew that her daughter's body was found on March 1st, you know? So she's just she was probably like the final part of like, okay, what else can you tell us? Not much by the sounds of it.
Disney Coronado Springs like a week or two earlier, is that right?
Yes.
And your sister and other family members would help with Maddie getting to school Because of your job?
Yes, my mom, and my sister, yes.
Okay. Why is it that now Stephan on February 26th is coming up to help as opposed to any of your family members helping getting Madeline to school?
I had asked for him to come and help me because I think I was working a lot of night shifts or like really late.
I think I was working a lot of night shifts. Do you actually know though? Because why did you ask Stephan to help this time versus your family like usual? I think it might be because, okay, that's nice distancing language again. Nice vague replies. Just like, I think it could have been because, like, why was it though? What was he doing there? Why? You know, with special occasions, the money-making time or what? Because I wonder about that now. I'm very, very worried about what was going on in bedroom number 4 and in that house. My goodness. So just listen, I'll go a few seconds back here. Listen to it.
Yes, my mom, and my sister, yes.
Okay. Why is it that now Stephan on February 26th is coming up to help as opposed to any of your family members helping getting Madeline to school?
I had asked for him to come and help me because I think I was working a lot of night shifts or like really late shifts. And I just wanted the opportunity to see Maddie, like, because I wanted to spend more time with my daughter throughout the week while I was working, versus had she had stayed at my mom's, I wouldn't have seen her all week.
Okay.
Please explain that logic. Can somebody help me? So she wanted Stephan there for the whole week because she thinks she was working a lot of night shifts and she wanted to see Maddie more that week. How were you going to see her more when she's at school all day and you're working night shifts? What, just for the afternoon maybe? Like, what time would your night shift start? You know what I mean? So if Maddie, if you have to pick her up usually at 4, how much time do you have with her? You mean like dinner time? Just dinner and then you go off to work or what? What? Because it just doesn't sound like a very plausible reason to be like, yeah, no, I don't want her to stay at my mom's house. I wanted to come home. Rather be with Stephan. Right. Okay. Not appropriate. Rather the family.
So that was just me wanting to see her and spend time with her.
Did Madeline stay at your mom's house fairly frequently?
Every few weekends here and there, like just for the weekend kind of thing.
So like if she described it to her friends as like her second home and like kind of offer up it's better jacuzzi and pool, does that sound like that's the place?
Yes.
Where does Madeline sleep when she's over at your mom's?
She will sleep in bed with my mom.
Okay. Did she ever have sleepovers? Like have friends come over and sleep over?
Slumber parties, no.
Did she ever go and attend any?
No.
Is there any particular reason? I mean, she's a 12-year-old
Listen,
girl
listen,
on
listen.
the cusp of being 13.
Why would she not attend sleepovers? Listen to what Jenn is about to say. Also, does she have any slumber parties? No. Thank goodness. Because with Stephan around, people like that would abuse that child too. Whichever children would be sleeping over, right? That's dangerous. I'm so glad that shame, man. Like I feel terrible for Maddie. Thank goodness, according to Jenn, no other children slept over. Good. Because they shouldn't have been at your house at all, right? My goodness. Poor Maddie. I wish she was never there either. Okay, now listen. Why... Jen's answer to why Maddie didn't sleep over at other people's houses. Are you ready?
Yeah, I've been very uncomfortable with sleepovers just because I know what can happen. Anything can happen in a sleepover.
Well, then you can be the host house like we kind of were. You never hosted any sleepovers for her friends?
For her friends, no.
Did she ask about it?
Yeah, she did ask.
Was it probably a source of contention or arguments?
It was, I guess what was the source of argument was her and she wanted to really sleep over her best friend's house, and I just kept saying, no, you never know what could happen. I don't know the dad, I don't know the brother, I don't know anybody there. Like, I don't know what can happen to you. So, just afraid of her getting assaulted.
Okay. Did Madeline do her own laundry?
Yeah.
Did she cook for herself?
I was teaching her how to make a few things, so I mean, yeah, she could, I guess.
Okay. What's her normal routine for getting ready for bed?
We give her her meds.
Of course, there's some reductions here and there, right? Did you hear that? Just like, ooh, anything can happen at a sleepover. Yeah, yet you're sending your daughter upstairs for a sleepover with your ex-boyfriend who doesn't work. Like this guy. Yeah, anything can happen at a sleepover. I wouldn't let her sleep at any other house. Let that be a lesson then. If she really was that dumb, okay, let that be a lesson. Like, okay, but like, don't, anything can happen at a sleepover. Use the same logic with your ex-boyfriend. Some guy who's not related to Maddie who wants to sleep in a bed with an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12, all those years. Alone. Snuggle time. Telling other girlfriends he gets a boner when he sleeps in a bed with Maddie. Nice. Yeah. And he thinks that's funny. I mean, that person was like, what the hell? Like breaking up with this guy, making me uncomfortable. Like, oh my God. These are great questions though that they are asking them. Okay, so.
I'm sorry, take your time.
We get ready for bed. I'd give her medication. She would get in the shower.
Take a long shower, I understand.
Like an hour plus, yeah.
Okay.
And she loved it. She'd get out, she'd get dressed, she'd let her hair towel dry for a while, and then she would brush it. We would watch some TV. She'd probably have a snack before bed as well.
Okay. What were kind of her nighttime uniforms? I mean, everybody kind of has their pajamas, but they're not necessarily pajamas. What was her routine nightwear?
She really liked wearing shorts. So she had a few pajama outfits, but she really liked wearing shorts and baggy t-shirts.
Okay. How about her routine getting ready for school in the morning? What's that about?
We'd wake up. The alarm would start ringing around 7:30. We'd snooze it up until 8 o'clock. Then she'd get up. She'd get dressed. And then she'd lay back down in bed while she would wait for me to make her breakfast.
So she's a breakfast eater?
Yes.
Okay.
She'd have breakfast. Then she would start, with brushing her hair, brushing her teeth, putting on makeup. At 5, I would give her ADHD medications for school.
Is that every day or just school days? So it sounds like you're heading out like 8:45 or 9?
Yes.
And it takes like, what did you say, 15, 20 minutes to get to school?
Yes.
And first bell's 9:38?
9:20.
Something like that?
9:20,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, she's still staying with a 9:28, so maybe school started 9:28, I don't know. Angie said she didn't love it, talking about the hour-long shower. You say she stayed in the shower as long as possible because she knew what was going to happen afterwards, that poor child. Right? It wouldn't, not like, Jenn says, she says a lot, she puts a lot of words in Maddie's mouth instead of actually finding out how she's doing. I think questions are important, like how are you doing? Are you okay? Is anyone touching you inappropriately? Those type of questions are valuable in a child's life, right? They might not feel okay to say what's going on. They have to feel safe to, right? So it's just like, oh, she loved the shower, loved showering for an hour. She loved her gifts, loved her birthday, so she just loved everything, right? How about asking her how she actually feels instead of just saying that everything's great, you're a great mom, she loves everything? Because it doesn't seem like she did. Well, obviously not, in hindsight, you know what I mean? So showering for an hour or losing time in the shower because she's like, oh, she just lose track of time. Well, maybe that's the only place she felt safe. So sad. Oh my goodness.
So on Monday the 26th, 7:30 seems like a really early time to depart to go to middle school, even if you're getting Mickey D's. What was the discussion about when Stephan and Madeline were going to leave on the 26th?
There wasn't one.
So you didn't know anything about these plans, or did you? Or
I knew that they were going to go to McDonald's, but not 7 o'clock in the morning. That wasn't
Okay.
I had assumed like 8 o'clock. But even then, 8 o'clock is kind of early, like 8:30, because you could just go to McDonald's, be done by 9, and then drop her off at school. Because McDonald's is right the block away from the school. So
And Madeline's not driving, so she can eat while she's riding.
Yeah. So I don't.
And she takes about an hour to get ready in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
So if they were leaving at 7:30, you'd think she'd have to get up at 6:30.
Yes, so Jenn says she takes about an hour to get ready in the morning. And with Stephan's story, he says, got up around 7, made really good time. By 7:15, they're out of there. 15 minutes. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, Stephan's story is that Maddie would, like, get up and get ready, and within 15 minutes, they're out the house and ready for what? Like a 2-hour time at McDonald's? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then just decide on the way, I don't really want to go. His story, as we know, it's obvious. It's like stating the obvious doesn't make sense, but I mean, that's also where you could see he doesn't know Maddie's routine. He didn't care about Maddie. He just saw her as an object to use and discard. And so it's just like, oh yeah, she got up and within 15 minutes we're out there. No, never going to happen. That's pretty quick, right? Also, Tia May said, and I saw a few people also say this, you said, sleeping over at a friend's house is also the time when an abused child is likely to tell. That's what I did. I'm so sorry that happened to you. There's many survivors in this community. And yeah, that is one reason why maybe Jenn didn't allow sleepovers. I know the reason she gave. And I know some parents don't allow sleepovers because of that. I get that. But was that Jenn? I don't know if I believe that. It might be isolating Maddie, because maybe Maddie would talk. Maybe she would tell her friends at a sleepover when they're all like comfortable in their PJs, watching movies, and then suddenly being like, you know what? Let me tell you some stuff. Okay, this is what's happening to me. You never know. So, and I mean, as we know, Stephan consumed Maddie's time. He possessed her time. He FaceTimed her all the time. Her friends took notice of that. Like, whoa, this guy was like on the phone to her all day long, messaging her all day, distracting her at school all day long, right? My goodness. Donna said, do you know how far, do you mean, is that the grandma's home? Was from the school? Yes, we've done some map time. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out on some of the episodes. It's not far at all from the school. Okay, thank you all for being here. I see there's a lot of people here. Okay, please like and share so that others can also learn about this information and also study this interview. And as I say, if you don't like the commentary and the stop, start, okay, many people do. So then you'd be in the minority. But don't worry, I got you covered, okay? I will be providing the raw audio file within the next 24 hours or so as well. Okay, I just got to put it together nicely for you and, make a little intro for all of you so that you understand what it is. Because some people will be like, why are we hearing this again? You're hearing it raw with no commentary, okay? I will be providing that for you, so don't you worry, okay? Heather said, proud member and patron, keep up the great work. Thank you so much for making it over to Patreon. We are 36 minutes in. Okay, I'm so glad to be here with all of you. You guys are calming me down a lot. I feel like, yes, we are studying this together because it is just disgusting to think about this alone, right? Oh my goodness. Misconduct says, as an only child to a teen mom in the 70s, with a wonderful extended family, this breaks my heart. I now know my mom sacrificed so much for me. That is so nice. You are so lucky. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for being a member for 21 months.
Get ready and go through a routine, right?
Yeah, that's extremely early.
Okay. And is that what Stephan told you after these events unfolded? Was that they left early, like 7:30? What did he ever tell you?
It was early. I can't remember the time. I think I dropped her off in front of her school sometime between 8:15 and 8:45.
You say I. What do you mean by that? Did you drop her off that
No,
morning?
I'm speaking, sorry.
Okay.
As what Stephan was telling me. Stephan let me know that he dropped her off sometime between 8:15 and 8:45 on the road by the church close to her school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember.
But why does she say I? Why does she say the word I? I mean, we is already bad enough when she's not actually there with him. Why I? I dropped her off that morning at. And then they're like, wait, what? The detective says, you saying I? Did you drop her off? Then she's like, oh, no, you can hear change in tone there. No. He dropped her off. Okay. It's just weird how she does that. Grizzly Cat. This is Grizzly Cat, everyone. I put Grizzly Cat's buy me a coffee link in the description box. Okay. I hope it's still there. I'll check now. Okay, you can also find her on X. thank you, Grizzly Cat, for your support. We together, we hunt down these files for you guys, and it's so great because sometimes doing it alone from a foreign country is hard, okay? So thank you, Grizzly Cat. I really, really appreciate it. Okay.
We're asking him, why so early? That's too early. School doesn't start until 9:30. Why did you drop her out that early? Oh, I don't know. We just left the house and made good time. I wasn't paying attention to the clock.
Okay. Did Madeline ever have like effects from taking the hydroxyzine in the morning? Like still be kind of sluggish?
Yes.
How often would that occur? Was that like every morning or not every morning?
Not every morning. If we happen to give her medication later than normal than routine, that would happen. But
Okay. And were there ever any instances where she had taken too much of the medicine? Perhaps you and Stephan had given her medicine, not knowing that the other person had?
yes, that's happened once
How many?
before.
Just once or more?
I want to say once.
Okay.
When she says, I want to say once. Every time she says, I want to say, then it sounds like, wait, I'm trying to think. There was a trial we watched recently, and when someone says a certain sentence, we know they're about to lie. Wasn't it Krzyzewski? Yeah. Krzyzewski. Jesse Krzyzewski was always like, swear to God, and then you know it's going to be like, whenever Jenn Soto says, I want to say, then I'm like, yeah, prepare for a lie. But like, was there ever a time where you double dosed Maddie? Like you gave her meds and then Stephan also did? Yes. Why are you letting this unrelated man, this unrelated man-child living in the home dose Maddie at all? Why is he giving her medication? Why can't she take her own medication? You know what I mean? She's already over 10. She was 10, 12, 13 at this point. Why? And then there's that police report that we read where Stephan said that night he gave Maddie an extra dose of medication even though she didn't need it. So there's a prime example of double dosing her. Why are you doing that? And I mean, we know he was researching a very powerful anesthetic, sevoflurane, 2 weeks prior, around the Valentine's Day mark. Why was he doing that? Such a random Google search he was doing there. I can't wait to hear at the trial. I hope we get to see it. Unless, of course, he pleads guilty. Anyway, at this point, he's pleaded not guilty and he's facing the death penalty. So at the trial, if we get to watch that, I can't wait to hear about his Google searches. What else, right? Yeah. Catherine's like, don't forget about yada, yada, yada. Oh, no, don't remind me. Letitia, yeah, the yada, yada, yada. Misty Harris said, what meds did Jenn take? We have been over that before. I don't want to botch it now by saying the wrong med names, but there is an episode we went over and it's timestamped. So if you want to find the quickest way to find that, just go to the timestamps of each episode, on the playlist in the last 2 weeks or so, and you just check there and it says, what medication did Jenn take? We went over it there. I highlighted it on the document for you and we checked it out, right? Okay, so.
Were you taking medicinal marijuana in pill form at any point for THC?
Yes.
And what do those pills or tablets or capsules look like?
They're purple capsules.
Did you ever suspect or confront Stephan about giving those medications to Madeline?
No.
So during this incident where Madeline had been double dosed with hydroxyzine, do you recall any conversation you had with Stephan and inquiring as to whether or not he had accidentally given her any of your THC?
That hadn't occurred to me. I had asked him the day that...
Is it just me or are you hearing a hint of what might be on the toxicology report? I don't think we're going to get it. They said based on the Florida statutes, because Maddie was a minor, we won't get to see her full autopsy report or toxicology report. Oh, that toxicology, I think that would be quite interesting. But it's interesting they're asking about that, right? Okay.
The one morning Maddie wouldn't wake up and get ready for school, and she was just out of it. I assumed it was medication related. Okay. But I didn't realize, I'm like, did this one medication hit her too hard because we gave it to her late? I called poison control. I needed to see what would happen. Because at this point, I think I had gotten Stephan to admit that he gave her a second dose of the sleeping meds as well. Because he...
Dude, I don't even know what to call it at this point. Jenn! And you don't see the red flags flying in front of your face? Hello? She had to call poison control? And she was thinking that Stephan double dosed her or overdosed her? Hello? Like, oh my goodness, earth to Jenn. Don't let him near your child ever again. How about that? And in many of the charges of the CSAM, they actually say that it appears that the victim is sleeping. Now, many people have unfortunately trauma dumped in my inbox, and it's a lot. Okay, so I have asked you guys, please don't do that. Please don't do that. There's a lot of survivors here. I've also survived a lot, so this is about Maddie. Okay. However, I understand that you have insight, and we all understand. There's many survivors in this community, right? I'm losing my train of thought now because I'm thinking of that. You see, that's what happens. I think of those emails, and I'm like, oh my word, I'm traumatized already. What was I trying to say? Red flags, Stephan Sterns. Oh yeah. It appears that Maddie was sleeping in a lot of that evidence on Stephan Sterns' phone. So I would speculate maybe he drugged her with something or gave her this THC. Well, that's the same thing, but you know what I mean? Drugging her with something, sleeping pills, THC, who knows? It could be that, or it could be, as many people emailed, dissociating, just playing dead, whatever it is, not wanting to deal with it. I get it. But I think, based on the amount of medication in this house and them admittedly sometimes double dosing her, sounds like, I think that's more likely, and that's very, very scary. Live for Now said, I'm sorry, but if this was me, I would remember everything about the last time I saw my child alive, right? Right? My goodness, you would go over that again and again and again to try to understand. It doesn't sound like she goes over that. I'll go back a few seconds here so we can hear the whole thing in context again. Let's go about there.
I had asked him the day that the one morning Maddie wouldn't wake up and get ready for school, and she was just out of it. I assumed it was medication related.
Okay.
But I didn't realize, I'm like, did this one medication hit her too hard because we gave it to her late? I called poison control.
I don't know when that was, but she said the day that, and then she changed her sentence. Did you hear that? Yeah.
See what would happen. Because at this point, I think I had gotten Stephan to admit that he gave her a second dose of the sleeping meds as well, because he thought I had given it to her in the first place.
Okay.
But that was with hydroxyzine. I didn't know anything about THC, the marijuana.
I'm just asking you.
Oh.
I'm asking if you remember having that conversation. There is a conversation on your phone about you were relaying that Madeline said that she suspected that it was different, bigger pills, and you relayed that to Stephan and had a conversation with him. And if you don't remember it because it was a year ago, that's fine. My next question is, you have 2 female roommates?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Nerdy Cat, I see you. I didn't see your sticker up here yet. I see it later. You said, where's the regret in her voice? If only I had. This is very concerning what she's saying about the medication, and Maddie's saying it was like bigger pills than usual and all kinds of things. What was Stephan dragging Maddie with? What was he doing all those years, all that time? And it's so interesting how she says that day that, and then she's like, okay, so then she talks about another time where she called poison control and all this kind of thing, right? The Skeptical Bee said she sighs before she lies. No questions about essay, vile liar. CSI crowdsourced Illumination said, what does trauma dump mean? It means to share your trauma in a way that doesn't consider anyone else's mental health and just completely like fire hydrant, get it out there and just say graphic details, which can be very triggering to the receiver. You know what I mean? That in that case, me. It's like oversharing one's trauma, which is very disturbing, very upsetting, especially for survivors, of which I've survived a lot myself. I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about Maddie. So thank you so much all for being here. I know that there's many survivors in this community. If in any way you find this case triggering, upsetting, it's affecting your mental health, for a moment here today, whatever, if you can't take it, if it's too much, remember to step away. Look after your mental health, okay? We'll always save you a seat. Always, okay? Your seat is saved. You can come back anytime when you are ready. Remember to get some sunshine, to get outside, to not let this case completely consume you, because I know it can, because it has for me as well. I understand. Thank you, Leah. Okay, so.
And one of them has a child, a son that sleeps part-time over there?
Yes.
And so my understanding is they're it's like I don't know what to call it, like a bed and breakfast. There's numbers on the doors upstairs?
Yeah, I don't know. I just, to make it easier for the roommates, I just labeled each bedroom.
So they're in 2 and 3.
Yes.
All right. Now, bedroom number 4. At one point, you told the police that your sister was staying with you, and that's why the sleeping arrangements were as they were. Was your sister ever staying with you, or did I misunderstand what you said?
No, my sister wasn't staying with me.
Okay. So let me ask you this. At what point did Madeline's bedroom kind of become the living room? When did that setup start?
I think as soon as a few months into us moving back into that townhouse.
And when would that have been?
Let's say June of sometime in 2022, but I'm not sure when.
Okay. It's my understanding that it's December of 2022 that you and Stephan kind of break up,
Yes.
but he still remains in the townhome.
Yes.
Why is that?
So even though we were broken up, I still considered him one of my best friends.
He said 2022. The police officer, the detective said December 2022 you broke up. Why is he still in the townhome? What I know is they broke up in December of 2023. Well, that's when he moved out. So, ooh, that's interesting. If they broke up in December of 2022, I'm going to be even more mad. If that wasn't a mistake of what they just said, December of 2022, but he's still staying there because he's one of your best friends. How about not having him around keep your bestie out of the house, you know what I mean? Let him have his own, get on his own 2 feet. Maybe grow a pair, get a spine, get a job, do something. She's just like, I was just like, what, enabling him? Mm-hmm. Rowena said, I believe her teacher said that she slept in class. Strategic Eye says she will not be arrested. Horrible. Her teacher did say she was, well, we've heard many interviews with the teachers saying that she was very tired in class, all of that, right? We've gone over that before as well. Yes, thank you so much. I don't know. That's obviously Strategic Eyes' opinion. This is Grizzly to Crime, so I'm sharing my opinions over here. I did watch that, and I don't know. I don't know if she'll ever be charged or not. To me, I'm just going to say never. Because I know, I would think, I would hope, the district attorney would also want full justice for Maddie. Right? And like Jenn said, whatever that means. Yeah, whatever that means. I'm saying it right back at her. Do you guys remember that in the media interview? Where she's like, I just want her back, whatever that means. What does that mean? Well, we just want justice for Maddie. Whatever that means. We already know Stephan Sterns is behind bars, okay? He is facing the death penalty. I mean, that's, whew, my goodness. And right now, he's sitting there in jail eating pickles and sausages, getting lotion and little washcloth. If you didn't see that video, it's out there for you. It's on my channel in the video section. I posted it yesterday for you if you want to know what he's ordering from commissary.
I wanted to give him the opportunity to live there, and he had gotten a job at Disney that was doing well. Okay. And I didn't want him to continue to lose that because he had been struggling for a long time to get a job or do anything because his own mental health issues. Okay. So I just wanted to give him a chance to like do something, be something. So
did he pay rent?
Yes.
How much rent did he pay?
$600 a month.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Earphone.
No footsies.
Like long legs.
Did he pay rent? Yeah, he did. How much? $600. No, his dad was paying that. Stephan's dad paid that rent of $600 a month. Really? And for what? Because Stephan did he really have his own room up there? I don't know. She's like, I just wanted him to do something, be something. Wow, imagine that if you had that mentality for your own daughter. You should want her future to be bright, to do something, to be something. Forget about him. He's contributing nothing. Just trauma. And look what happened now. Oh my goodness.
So in December of 2022, kind of when the breakup happens, prior to that, what were the sleeping arrangements in your home? Was he sleeping in your bedroom as a couple?
Yes.
So who's in bedroom number 4, if anybody?
I think that room remained empty for a while. For a little bit, there was another roommate there, but it remained empty for the most part.
Why? Why did room number 4 remain empty for the most part? Why? And why does Maddie then not have her own room? Why can't she take the room? I don't get it. She's like, I think it was empty for the most part. Yeah. Was that I will speculate. I am only speculating. Was that the room where all the CSAM content was made? Was that like the Jenn's freaking moneymaker or what? I really worry. I worry about that room. I mean, they all like staying downstairs in Jenn's room. Stephan's paying $600 of rent, what his dad's paying. And room number 4 is just like mostly empty. And you won't even temporarily give that room to your daughter? Why? Where she can use all those locks to have some safety? Decorate it how she wants. She deserves that. Wow. Wow. My goodness.
And were your female roommates already there in 2 and 3?
Yes.
Why doesn't Madeline have that bedroom 4?
I wanted her to have bedroom 4, but my dad really wanted rent. That whole unit that I live in is owned by my father.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Do you pay your father anything to live there, or does he just handle collecting the rent from your rentees, lessees, whatever they are?
I pay him rent as well.
Okay.
Okay, so for anyone who was still wondering if it's Maddie's grandpa. Wait. People said it was Jenn Soto's ex-father-in-law that owned the house. Remember, someone was like telling me that and correcting me that. And I don't mind. People can tell me facts, correct me if I'm wrong at any time. I'm just saying I was so confused because I'm like, wait. But in the documents it says Juan is Jenn's father. So why do they say ex-father-in-law? But now she's saying it's my father. So I still think it's her father, right? I'm still trying to clear that one up. But it sounds to me, based on the documents, they say Juan, in brackets, Jennifer Soto's father, and she's saying father. So I think it's her father that owned the property. Am I right? Okay, so.
What do you pay for the rent?
My portion of the rent was $400 a month.
All right. And what do the 2 female roommates pay?
$850 and $650.
Okay. Prior to Madeline having her own bedroom set up in the living room, where was she sleeping in that townhome?
In my bed with me.
Okay. And this is during a time frame when you were together with Stephan, so is it the 3 of you every night?
Well, when we had first moved in, it was just me and Maddie. So it was just me and her on the bed. Then I think we eventually got her own bedroom. Stephan moves in eventually, and then, yeah, at that point, it does become the 3 of us on the bed.
Okay. So Madeline's 12, and she has her own bedroom. And how often is she sleeping in her own bed alone?
Hardly. She doesn't like sleeping alone. And she doesn't like the living room. It's too big, too quiet. She says it'd be too dark and that there would be spiders. She would see.
Yeah, Stephan, the spider. Yeah. She doesn't. Why would this little girl want to sleep in the living room? Hey, Jenn, how about you go sleep in the living room in the makeshift room? Let her sleep in your bed then. Let her sleep in a safe room where she can close the door and have 4 walls instead of fake walls. Jenn herself called it fake. You know those like fake walls? Yeah, she had that. Why does your daughter have fake walls? Why? Especially if you broke up with Stephan Sterns, so he's your ex-boyfriend. Not related to Maddie. You said you used to be hyper-vigilant. Why are you letting him snuggle with your daughter? Why can't she have a room? It doesn't make any sense. It's horrible. Rowena said her beautiful girl is gone and she contributed to it. She needs to be behind bars. This is ridiculous. Anna's like, she didn't have a room. I know, right? Now Jenny's making as if she had a room. It's a makeshift room. Little room dividers and a bed in the living area where all the roommates would walk past. Even that 17-year-old boy that was living there. I mean, Maddie has to feel safe in her own space to get changed for school in the morning. Why must she do that in the living area behind the little room dividers? I mean, come on. Goodness.
Spiders, so
So you say hardly. Were there ever nights where she just slept alone in her bed? Or is it 100%? Because there's a difference between hardly ever and 100% to me.
If she ever slept on that bed, it was like once.
Okay. All right. So now you've broken up with Stephan in December of 2022, right? He's still paying rent, and he's there full-time in bedroom number 4. Is that where he goes after you break up?
No, he stayed in my room for a few months. We had broken up, but we weren't sure how to discuss it with Maddie because it was the middle of the school year, and I didn't want to affect her in any way. So we just played it off, acted like everything was normal and fine for the first 6 months. And then eventually she caught on. And then once she did, we admitted to her that we were broken up. And then...
Caught on for what? You know what I mean? Eventually Maddie caught on that we were broken up. Why? You're not married. You don't owe him anything. Kick him the hell out. You broke up now, but he's still my best friend. But then Maddie caught on. To what? Because you're still best friends, right? Sounds like you're still getting hired together. like what are you doing? You're still sleeping in the bed with Maddie in the middle. Jenn didn't protect her daughter at all. It was Jenn on one side, then Maddie in the middle, and Stephan on one side. In case you missed that, I'm just saying things in between in case people miss some of these things that we've been over through all these documents and all the body cam and everything that we've been through. If you've missed those episodes, please check out the playlist. Also, I calculated the rent, the total from all of these, the roommate, 800 and 650, and then 600 from Stephan and 400 for, so Jen's paying the least. She's paying 400. She's making everyone else pay the most. Okay. And she's got the master bedroom with the king bed. Okay. But the total there was $2,450. How much of that did she pocket? How much did she... I would love to hear from Juan. How much rent did you get per month from Jenn? How much was really handed over? I'd love to know. Christine, welcome. So, okay. It's just unbelievable. Like, Maddie caught on eventually and said, you guys broke up, didn't you? She didn't want to tell. She's pretending as if they're like this married couple and they're actually getting divorced. And oh dear, now her daughter's caught on. Caught on to what? Because it seems to me, like in his mind, his girlfriend was Maddie. That's what's so sickening about this. And Jenn said that her medication took away her sex drive, so she wasn't even having sex with Stephan. So what do you mean? Caught on how?
Yeah, at that point is when he moved up to bedroom 4.
Okay. And once he moved up to bedroom 4, were there instances where Madeline would sleep alone upstairs with him?
I'm gonna say...
But it's time to think up a lie. I'm about to say, swear to God, yada yada yada. I'm gonna say, yeah. Why are they going upstairs that night when that room was generally empty? Debbie McMullen, thank you so much. She said it's so easy to go down the rabbit hole with this man. I know, right? We go down that rabbit hole and we never emerge again. It's really terrible. You said rest in peace, Maddie. No more monsters. Love your channel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie.
I want you to think carefully before you answer, because obviously we've gone through your phone and we've seen all the conversations that you've had with Stephan. So it's clear that that's occurring. So I'm giving you the chance to answer the question.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many times it's happened.
Okay. Why are you allowing that to occur?
I saw Stephan as someone that I completely trusted with my life, my child's life. I thought he had cared for her as a father would. He had been in her life for more than half of it, playing the father role.
He can't even be an adult. How can he be a father? No. Shame. He was being a father to her. How? He didn't even have a job. He wasn't earning income. He wasn't taking out the trash until that day. Clearly, he was just like, let's go to the dumpster 5 times. He wasn't doing any chores. He wasn't doing laundry. He wasn't contributing to the house at all. But yes, what a father figure. My goodness. And then just like snuggling with, sorry to say that the whole time, I'm saying it for effect because Stephan said it's so disgusting to send her own daughter upstairs with Stephan. And they're like, careful now how you answer, because we've seen the conversations that you had with Stephan. We've seen your phone. So good. It wasn't factory reset, and if it was, they already got the stuff, right? Okay, and those conversations are revealing, okay, so this happened quite a few times that you would send them upstairs to bedroom number 4. Bedroom number 4, is a South African way. Also, this is a South African thing too. This is also goes with yo. When things are getting hectic, it's just like, I don't even know. It's just like, oh my word, just like what? Can't believe it. So you sent her up many times with Stephan. Why? Why? Did you always need such a good night's sleep for your day off? What's happening up there? Why don't you care about what's happening up there? How did it work out? Trusted him with my life or with my daughter's life, and look at it now. And has she realized it yet? He allegedly murdered your daughter after years of sexually abusing her. Like, I mean, I wonder when it will hit her, if ever. And if it does, will she still protect Stephan? Because we've seen cases like that. If you've never seen my coverage of that Daniel Aguilar trial, that mother was infuriating. When they asked that mother, why would you let him abuse your little 5-year-old boy? She said, because I just wanted a man. I wanted a boyfriend. So like, that's why. Like, oh my goodness, it's just terrible. Okay, so.
I thought he cared for her the way I did.
Which is not at all.
Now, does there come a point in time in 2023 where you've kind of had enough of roommate ex-boyfriend Stephan and ask him to hit the road?
Yes.
And is that fair to say it was like October?
Maybe, yeah, like the end of October, because then I gave him all of November and told him he had to be out by December 1st kind of thing. But yeah, that sounds about right.
And then did you kind of ask him to leave a month earlier and it was a source of arguments?
Yes.
Okay. So now at this point in time when he's being asked to leave, have you had any conversation with Maddie that mommy isn't together with Stephan anymore and this is kind of the ways of the world? Do you have that conversation with her?
She had, by June, she figured it out already, so she knew we weren't together or anything like that. So she, by December, yeah, she had already known he was leaving, but that was okay.
Okay, so they really are saying December 2022. So the breakup is actually a lot sooner than all of us thought. It's not December of 2023. December of 2022. They broke up, and then, they were just like best friends. So she let him stay there. But then what changed in October? Tell me, Jen, what changed in October? So he's your best friend, you let him stay there, have a job at Disney, get on his feet, but then you kick him out. And then it's a source of contention. There's arguments. Why? What happened? Why are you kicking him out? I'd love to know more. Did you maybe then see any red flags? Did you ask Maddie if he ever hurt her, harmed her, did anything to her? Wow.
Why is he coming back to visit after he's out?
We're still friendly with each other at this point. Christmas is coming up, and we wanted to spend Christmas together. So he comes up for a few days during Christmas, and then he does visit a few more times after that, but for the day, and it's to pick up packages. He keeps getting mail delivered to my house, packages.
Interesting.
So he just comes up and picks them up.
So he's getting his little packages. With what money that he made where? Delivered to her home. Why? Oh, he gets it delivered there. Why? He lives 2.5 hours away at that point. He moved back in with his mom. In Northport, Florida. They're only 8 minutes away from the laundries. Okay, so, but he's getting all these little packages. What? Warhammer figurines and all these little toys that he earned how? Where's that money coming from? Is that the $600 that his dad gave him? Spending it on that? Doesn't want his dad to find out. I don't know. It could be something more sinister, but who knows? But yeah, we was just sending packages there. Sometimes we come through for the day. Came through for Christmas. We wanted to spend Christmas together. I'm sure he ruined Maddie's Christmas. He seemed to ruin, of course, special occasions. Thanksgiving is what his dad said. And then Christmas he went again. Okay. And then he went 2 or 3 more times, including this last time. Wow. And then she says he just went for the day. Okay, but this time you wanted him there for a whole week? My goodness. Did you ever ask if Maddie wanted him there at all, ever again?
And when he comes to visit after he's been kind of kicked out, is he paying rent, or how is this working, or is he just coming to visit?
He's just coming to visit.
Is your father making any arrangements to rent bedroom number 4? Because this is his income that he's losing.
Yeah, we had it. We had like an ad posted to see if we can get any renters. So we were trying to rent it out, but then we had to stop.
And what happens if you had ended up renting room number 4?
Yeah, what
Is
happened?
Stephan going to still come up and visit you and sleep in your bed?
Tell us.
I don't know. I hadn't even thought of it at that point.
Seems like room number 4 was occupied. And for what? Hannah says in the start of this case, you thought. I don't think I thought. Did I say it? If you could please send me the timestamp. But you said you thought he should plead guilty. When did you change your mind? I don't think I thought he should. I think I'm saying that the audacity of these types that always just like pleading not guilty. Now, if we were to change that sentence around, like, should he plead guilty? I think he might, because he's a complete coward. But you know who should get the plea deal, even though, okay, he's facing the death penalty. Imagine if they gave him a bit of a plea deal to tell on her. That would be interesting. Rather than her getting some sort of immunity, although it's this for this interview, derivative immunity. Okay, we went over that many times in this episode. I'm not going to say it again. It's not like forever immunity from what I understand. It's for this interview. Now, the thing is, imagine if she didn't get that. Okay, you just interview her, but then you tell him, we've got a little deal on the table for you. How about you say anything about her involvement? Was she involved at all? Did she know it all? Did she see that morning? Did she see Maddie? Did she know about, I don't know, all the things. Ask him all the things as well. My goodness. Yeah. NJ Kathy said they have to go to trial. They have to go to trial. Gracie said this interview is amazing. I know, right? This is like, wow. The questions are so good. They asked everything they possibly could.
At one point you told investigators that Stephan was quote-unquote stuck down there until they could afford for him to come back. Were there plans for him to come back?
We had discussed him coming back and living with me. We weren't sure if temporarily or like for me to help him out with the place for a little bit before he can find his own place and move out. Or we were also considering talking about living together as like a companionship. With my best friend who's helping me out with my child.
Because you told investigators that a lot of the reason your relationship fizzled off with Stephan was that your antidepressants. You had moved on to other people, had you not?
Yes.
And so despite having moved on with other people, you were still having Stephan come up and visit, and there were plans to cohabitate with him again, potentially.
Possibly, yes.
Why? So you'd move on. You'd moved on with other people. Ooh, I want to hear from those boyfriends or girlfriends. She did say she was bisexual. Remember, Deborah Sterns also said she's bisexual. Like she insulted her so much. She's like, she's bisexual, she's bipolar, and she's a drug addict. I was like, damn, Deborah, oh my goodness. But all those girlfriends and boyfriends. My email address is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. I keep all sources anonymous. You want to tell me something? Please tell me. We want insight. We want to know. My goodness. So it's like, oh, so you'd moved on to other people. I mean, he's also dating other people and saying really weird things to them. Also making one lie on her stomach and then just be like pretend to be dead, just about. That's the only time he got an erection. Wow. Okay. Which I know many people jump from him being a creep to being a necrophiliac, but as Dr. John on Hidden True Crime said, there's an in-between there, a somnophiliac. If someone's attracted to people that are like sleeping, oh my goodness, he could plausibly be someone like that. Wow, based on all of that, there's the sex doll torso, a silicone torso, okay, that Deborah Sterns found in Stephan Sterns' bed after Maddie went missing. And she got such a fright. She said she thought it was real and she ran outside and she was screaming Maddie's name. And I'm like, That was a weird sentence, but okay. Silicone sex doll torso. And then telling this other girlfriend that, just he was struggling apparently to get an erection until she just like played dead or pretended to be sleeping just about. You know what I mean? Ooh, that's so creepy. Wow. Okay. So thank you, Coogie, for your comment. Thank you all for being here. Let's keep going.
Maddie had the opportunity to go visit her biological father in the fall out in Texas. Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. Do you remember texting the biological father, hope nobody touches Maddie or tries shit or films her under the bathroom?
Listen to Jen's excuse for this. So wait, Jenn texts Maddie's biological father, and when Maddie's going to visit says, hope no one does shit or films her under the door. Why do you hope that? Why? Because Stephan does that. So she knows that Stephan's doing that because Stephan filmed the roommates under the door, which is why I would speculate, well, did Jenn know about the content he was making? Or had on his phone? Did she go through his phone? Or what the hell was going on there? Why she not confront him about it? Is that why they broke up? Please tell us more, Jenn. Why'd you break up? Did you find out he was filming the roommates under the door? Did you sexually abusing your daughter? What content was he making, or were you in on it? It's terrible. Also, just listen to the reason she gives now. She plays it off like when Maddie told her friends when she turns 13, she's going to run away, go live in the woods, she's going to build a home in the woods. There were different versions of how she said this, which is very scary. To go live in the woods, a 13-year-old saying that. And then Jen's like, no, it was just about like the apocalypse. Now, I did hear one of the friends' interviews as well saying, yeah, but that was about World War III. So the friend also said it. But the way that Jenn just wasn't worried about that, saying, oh, no, it's probably because I told her all about, World War III. Like, why are you discussing that with your 13-year-old, at that point 12-year-old actually, but like, why are you doing that? Anyway, not the greatest conversation to be having with her. The point is, she played it off as nothing. It was just something about World War III. Same here. She's going to be like, oh no, what I heard was that somebody was filming someone like in like an airline. No, Stephan Sterns was filming the roommates under the crack of the door. Have we seen that? Yeah, we did. We went through that photo evidence. We looked at it, where they actually put a phone under the door crack to see if it films the same, aspect ratio and all that, and it did. So listen to this.
Send that text.
No.
Orange County Sheriff's Office back in February?
No.
Because that seems like a very oddly specific thing to text the father. So you didn't know anything about what was going on filming underneath bathroom doors?
No idea. I don't know why I would have texted that.
Okay. June 16th.
So suddenly she doesn't know why she would have texted that. She doesn't remember any of her own texts, right? Let me just quickly get to some messages I missed. So Jill and Brian said, in my opinion, police don't ask a question they don't already know the answers to, even if they're your prior answers, Jenn. Exactly right. And Bo Peep said they can charge her if she lies now under oath, immunity or not. True as well. Wonder Lusting said, this makes me sadder than sad. This woman is the most pathetic, despicable excuse of a mother. Rest in peace. Sweet Maddie, thank you so much. Tony said, Stephan Sterns ingrained himself into her life so deeply she couldn't get rid of him emotionally. Yeah, that as well. Oh my goodness.
18th of last year, about 9:30 p.m.
Oh, actually, I can't actually think back to that.
Okay. What?
I think around the time that Maddie was going to fly out to Houston, there had been an airline person that had gone into the bathroom and placed their camera on the toilet to film. And I remember thinking, I don't want Maddie, I'm afraid of Maddie being alone on a plane, because what if an attendant does that to her, says, hold on, let me fix something in the bathroom. And in reality, they're setting up a camera.
What a lie.
This did happen to a girl.
Okay.
What a lie. What a liar. Oh yeah, the reason I would have texted her bio dad that is not because Stephan Sterns is filming people under the door, literally in that home. No. I'm not aware of that. It's because some random person on an airline did that. And I heard the story, and so that's why I texted her bio dad. I hope no one does shit to her or films under the door. I wonder what the real dad, the bio dad, what was the bio dad thinking? What was he thinking? Like, why are you texting me that? Also, I misspoke when I said real dad now, because stepdads can be real dads. I mean bio dad, biological father. She texted the biological father to say, hey, I hope no one does shit to her or films under the door. Now they're asking her, why are you saying that to him? I don't know. I don't remember that text. Oh, yeah, it's about an airline. It's not about an airline. It's because Stephan Sterns is doing it under your nose. And you probably know about it. Sure, she can lie, this one, hey? Oh, my goodness. Also, I actually think in one of the... I can't remember now that silicone torso. It was either found in the closet in Stephan's room or in the bed. I don't know. But the mother found it, right? Wow, Nature Pride, welcome. Beach Gal said she texted under the door. That as well. Under the door, not a camera in the bathroom. But do you guys remember the photos of under the door? Do you remember the under the door? That's exactly what Stephan Sterns did. He filmed under the door into the roommates' bedrooms and bathroom. We literally looked at that. It's part of the FOIA files that I received. They actually put a phone there to see. How does it look? How does it look? So I just find it very interesting that she's even texting that, and in what context.
So I want to say it may have been concerns over that.
Okay. Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stephan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
Ooh, long pause, hey? Long pause.
How often was Maddie...
She says, I have no idea. Oh my goodness. Just let's listen to that again. Here we go.
For that.
Okay. Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stephan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
How often was Maddie sleeping with you?
Often, all the time.
Well, you keep on saying often versus all the time. Was it 100% of the time or not 100% of the time?
If she wasn't with my mom and she was with me, then yeah, she was sleeping with me.
Okay. And if she's at mom, she's 100% of the time sleeping with mom? Your mom?
With my mom, or she does have her own room, I guess. Like there's another spare room she could use, but for the most part, she prefers to sleep with my mom.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that you had some sort of period tracker that you kept track of Madeline's period with?
I had a calendar app that I would write what days she would get her period.
Okay, pause, because that's also going to be another big one that they're asking about there. Wasn't that such a, like, what the hell was that? What a mic drop moment. Like, so much silence from Jenn Soto there. June 16th of 2023, she texts Stephan, Maddie is no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean? And she had no answer for that. Just like, I don't know. What does it mean? That is terrible. My goodness. Lila said, hello from Mexico, and thank you for all you do. Thank you so much for your sticker and welcome.
Great, yeah.
And obviously, Madeline doesn't have a job, so she's not going out and buying the products that she would need if she had her period, right? You would have to do that for her? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
So, do you remember her using any of those products at all in February? Because I assume you take the trash out, or does she take the trash out, or how does all this work?
I take the trash out. In February, no, I didn't notice her using any of her feminine hygiene products.
Did you have any conversations with her about that?
No, but I didn't notice until after everything.
Because it would have been due like at the beginning of February, and this all happens at the end of February, so she's almost due again in March. So you never had any conversations with her about not having her period at the beginning of February?
No, she's had other periods that have been missed or like super late, so I just assumed this was going to be one of those situations again.
Okay.
One of those situations again. Ooh, big red flags flying here, right? Charlotte's like, OMG, are you serious? Pregnant? I mean, that is the speculation. The thing is, though, Maddie's friend, this is one thing that I still think about. Maddie's friend said that her and Maddie used to have their period at the same time. But then Maddie was late in February, but got it 2 weeks late. Like later. 2 weeks later, she says Maddie got her period. So that's interesting because here Jenn is kind of saying, yeah, she only noticed after everything. You mean like after the murder and everything? Oh my goodness. that she didn't use any of her feminine hygiene products. But at the same time, Jenn is trying to make us all believe, or the police at least, that she's tracking Maddie's monthly cycle. Why doesn't she just show Maddie how to track her own, on an app on her own phone? That's weird. Yeah, Emily says, why are you tracking a little girl's menstrual cycle? It's a little suspicious, and especially the way she's talking about it. Now, let me quickly tell you what CM Cake sent me, because CM Cake, you're in chat here. Thank you for the email. You said, I think it's possible that Maddie was expecting but didn't meet the criteria for Stephan Sterns to be charged for the death of the baby due to its early stage. See below, thank you for the amazing work you do. Thank you so much, CM Cake. So you said in Florida, I'm just putting this here for a moment, okay, if this would be, because it's interesting, the police are asking her about this, of course, right? So in Florida, under the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, there is no specific gestational age mentioned in the statute that must be reached for an offense to be considered criminal. Instead, the key legal factor is whether the unborn child is considered viable. Viability refers to the stage at which the fetus is capable of surviving outside the womb with or without medical assistance. Florida law does not define a specific number of weeks for viability, as it may vary depending on medical circumstances. Generally, viability is considered to occur around 24 weeks of gestation, but it can be earlier or later depending on the pregnancy and the available medical technology. So I just wanted to give you that information, just so that you know that as well, because most people will say, well, why wasn't he charged? And if so, that would be one reason perhaps, okay? But we don't know that either. We don't know if Maddie was or wasn't, and it's terrible to speculate that about a 13-year-old, even though it is possible. It's horrendous, right? I still think that Stephan Sterns his motive could simply be a loss of control, a loss of Maddie, thinking, no way, no one else is going to have you, because he's abused her. Been with her since she was like 8 years old. I think he thought that he possessed her, like a trading card. Horrible. So anyway, it could just be over jealousy. It could be because she said she's going to tell, or whatever it is, or it could obviously be this as well. So let's hear what Jenn has to say now for herself.
But no, I didn't.
Did you ever discuss her periods or lack of periods with Stephan?
I don't think so.
It's my understanding that Maddie had to take Miralax. I'm familiar with that myself because of my daughter when she was little. So she had constipation issues?
Yeah.
Would it ever cause her discomfort, physical pain, bleeding?
Yes.
And how are you aware of that?
She would tell me. There have been moments. So we've gone to doctor's appointments. They've run a lot of tests on her. They told me why her body is doing what it's doing. But she's shown me if there was blood, or if she's in the bathroom and she just can't go, like it's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me that too. So.
Did she ever specifically seek treatment for tears or bleeding or anything due to her bowel movements?
No, I don't think so. Tears or anything like that, no. I don't think there was ever a tear.
Okay. On February 26th, the whole purpose of Stephan coming and taking Madeline to school was so that you could get some sleep. You had missed your medication Saturday night, so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
Is there any particular reason Stephan couldn't have driven your car to take Madeline to school and therefore not embarrass her, and he could...
Sorry, I'm going to pause there. I'll go back a few seconds. I Am Medusa said the flight attendant did tape his phone to the seat. I know. But there's actually been many incidences like that. Of course, I was an airline pilot myself. I'm aware of lots of weird things that happen in airlines that many people might not actually know about. That happened. But it's the same as Letitia just bringing up, some other tragedy to deflect. You know what I mean? So it was very specific, in my opinion. I think she had some knowledge of what Stephan was doing in the home. Frankie Kangalosi said, I think it means she couldn't risk getting caught as Maddie got older, doing what she probably does to her and her sleep as well. Maybe filming her for him. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? I mean, that thought had crossed my mind as well before, of like, what if Jenn was like the filming thing? I don't know. It's just, this case it's too much. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go back a few seconds so we hear this all in context here. From there, let's go here.
Did you ever specifically seek treatment for tears or bleeding or anything due to her bowel movements?
No, I don't think so. Tears or anything like that, no. I don't think there was ever a tear.
Okay. On February 26th, the whole purpose of Stephan coming and taking Madeline to school was so that you could get some sleep. You had missed your medication Saturday night, so on and so forth, right?
Yes.
Is there any particular reason Stephan couldn't have driven your car to take Madeline to school and therefore not embarrass her and he could just drop her off normally?
Yes, but because he's not on my car insurance, I was very nervous to let him drive my car.
You did let him drive your car after this occurred, though, right?
Yes, but he was very insistent because he wanted to go look for Maddie, and he had a spare on his car because he had a flat, so he couldn't drive his car. So he just really wanted to go out.
See? I was saying see, that's a delayed see from previous episodes where people, I was like, but she let him afterwards. It was part of my, like, we made a bullet point list of all the red flags of Jenn Soto, all the things she said, right? Of like, no, I didn't want him to drive my car that day to take Maddie to school because, you know, he wasn't on my insurance. But then I was like, but you let him drive that night all the way out there back to St. Cloud and the next night to Northport, Florida. And then someone said, no, like that he basically stole her car, that she said the seat was moved. Yeah, but she let him. You can hear it. She's like, but he was insistent. He really wanted to drive. It's so crazy. Whatever Stephan wants, he gets, okay? That's what it sounds like. Whatever he wants, he gets. Yeah, he was very insistent, and he wanted to go out there and look for Maddie. Yeah, he did go back out to that area with Jenn's car. And we saw the cadaver dog have that final alert on Jenn's car. So he probably moved Maddie's body there and around the area or covered her in that hay that was found on her body and all this stuff. Is terrible. Like, wow, okay. So anyway, so then she's like, man, this detective is doing so great. He's like asking all the questions we want to ask, right?
So I just let him, but I wasn't comfortable with it.
During your previous interviews, and you did it once today, you kind of interchanged I, we, or Stephan dropping Madeline off at school. Did you see Madeline at all on February 26th of 2024, that Monday?
No.
Do you know anything about how she died?
No.
Did Stephan tell you anything about how she died?
No.
Did Stephan tell you about his plans to go back down to Northport in your car that Wednesday morning? Got any questions, Mark? I'm getting close.
I'm going to jump through because I was making notes as we were going on. So, how frequently did Stephan come up here after he moved back to Northport?
I'm going to say
How many times total do you think he came back here?
2 to 3 times.
Do you remember if those were around specific dates?
One was like the week of Christmas. I can't remember when the other one was.
Was Stephan in town the week or two prior to this last time he came?
I don't remember. It's possible, but I don't remember everything.
Why don't you remember? It was around Valentine's Day. Was he there or wasn't he there? You only remember he was there for Christmas? When else was he there? Do tell. Like, she's like, I don't remember. Why don't you remember? He's your ex-boyfriend. You kicked him out. Okay, he's living with his mom. He would have driven 2.5 hours to come and see you. Or Maddie. So you don't remember?
It's becoming a blur.
Do you remember sending him a text message asking if he can babysit Maddie while you go have lunch with your friend?
This was a few weeks before. I remember going out a few weeks before. I don't remember asking him to babysit. I don't know where he was.
Did you ever go to lunch with your friend? And he babysat her?
I did go to lunch with my friend, but I don't think he was here. I think Maddie stayed home alone for a few hours.
I wonder how that poor friend feels now. knowing, damn, she went for lunch with Jenn and Stephan was asked to come through and babysit. That's what I was saying before, like, oh no, like a permanent babysitter. It seems like that was his role. That's what Jenn used him for. You know, meets that need, permanent babysitter, whatever. Like, I can just go for lunch, I can go to Botox appointments, I can just do whatever, sleep whenever, work a little bit. Horrible. Horrific. And if so, ooh, be very careful who you allow to be a permanent babysitter for your children. Because there's a lot of predators, groomers around who will just happily fill that position.
Okay. When you mentioned Maddie caught on about you guys being broke up, how did that happen? What did she say, or?
I forgot. Me and Stephan were having a conversation, and she goes, "Are you guys broken up?" And we kind of looked at her, and we're like, "Why do you ask?" She goes, "Because you guys are kind of acting like you're broken up. You guys haven't hugged and kissed in a long time." And we're like, "Okay." So we just kind of.
How do you think she felt about that?
Fine. She didn't act sad or happy or anything. You're just like, whatever.
Whatever. Or we should have been angry because maybe Stephan was targeting Maddie even more. Seeing as he didn't have to worry about Jenn anymore. She's now out the way. Now you can just have full access to Maddie without even worrying about it. And, oh, man, in one of the reports about the sexual abuse, Jenn actually said, well, he was sexually frustrated. Ew. Like, oh my goodness. Whoa, okay.
All right. Now, you mentioned to me before, too, that you found her phone on her dresser in, like, her little bedroom area. Does she have a specific spot where she plugs in her phone to charge? How does she charge her phone?
So, on her side of my bed, she's got a long charger. She'll connect it there to charge. Don't know how she charged it that night, though. Don't know if she took her charger and moved it to the room upstairs. No.
So the phone is generally charged in Jenn's room, but that night the phone is put on charge at, what time was that? 11 p.m., huh? And it was taken off charge at 7:04 a.m., which is apparently where Stephan Sterns is coming downstairs. I would speculate Maddie's phone was charged in Jenn's room that night, but she's like, I don't know where it was that night. Wow, there's a lot of I don't knows for that night and that day, huh? Lot of strange things.
Sure.
How do you charge your phone?
I charge my phone with my charger next to me on my side of the bed.
Okay, is it one that you plug in, or?
The magnetic one.
Okay. Now, when you go to bed at night, is there any kind of routine that you do with your phone? If you're texting, look on TikTok or whatever, and you go to bed, you just set your phone down and go to sleep, or what's that routine like?
I'll TikTok until I start dozing off, and then I'll put my phone on the charger, make sure my alarm's on, and then just lay down, close my eyes, and hope not to think of too much, just fall asleep.
What in the hell does that mean? I just TikTok a bit, just probably YouTubing, TikToking, looking at all the social media, and then just close my eyes and hope not to think of too much. What are you talking about? You hope not to think about what's happening to your daughter in that moment, or that's going to happen that night to your daughter? What do you mean? Hope not to think of too much. It could mean many things. I'm just saying think about what's happening in the home when Stephan is there, okay? Annie T said she 100% pimped out her daughter for this creep. It's terrible. Crimson Lake. Crimson Lake says, I just tried to introduce my mom to Grizzly. Turns out she's been watching Grizzly from the start of the channel. Generations of Grizzlies here. That is so nice. Crimson Lake, your mom is an OG, an original Grizzly from the start of the channel. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Now, let's hear that again. Wait. Yeah, we're going to hear it from there.
With my charger next to me on my side of the bed.
Okay, is it one that you plug in, or?
The magnetic one.
Okay. Now, when you go to bed at night, is there any kind of routine that you do with your phone? If you're texting, looking on TikTok or whatever, and you go to bed, you just set your phone down and go to sleep, or what's that routine like?
I'll TikTok until I start dozing off, and then I'll put my phone on the charger, make sure my alarm's on, and then yeah, just lay down, close my eyes, and hope not to think of too much, just fall asleep.
Okay, that night, Saturday or Sunday night, when you guys spending this half hour of time together, was all you were doing was talking about gifts and counting her money, or were you guys doing anything else?
Just asking her for more details about the party and to tell me like what I missed. She seemed like she had a really good time.
When you got home from work that day, where was everybody?
I think everyone was in my room, hanging out in my room.
Okay, everybody meaning?
Maddie and Stephan were in my room. Sorry.
All right. Now it's obvious that you and Stephan communicate via text message and phone calls and stuff like that. What is Google Meet?
What is Google Meet? That is like Google's version of FaceTime. So just face chatting.
Okay.
Video chatting.
Okay. When her birthday party was planned, was this planned before you got your job or after?
The birthday party?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was planned before. Because once I saw my schedule and I saw that it was during a training day, and I wasn't going to call out. I considered rescheduling the party, but my family was insistent to just keep it that day. And I said, okay.
All right, so Stephan moves out of his room, and I think you mentioned that your dad had plans on renting that room again to somebody else. Is that right?
Yeah.
How was that room set up? How was Stephan's room set up after he moved out?
Pretty much the
Best
same.
or-
Pretty much the same. The bed was in the same location. The
Okay.
TV, the dresser, the desk, and the mini fridge. Everything stayed in the same location.
Okay, was the bed, and did it have comforter, blankets, and all that stuff on it, or?
When he moved out, everything was empty. There was a mattress protector cover on it. But I had clean sheets and clean blankets to put on, like they're available. So
Where were they available?
in the closet,
Okay.
and I did, yeah. Now that I don't know they were there.
Do you know if he made the bed?
I don't know, but I'm going to assume he. I don't know.
What did the blankets look like that would be used to make that bed?
They would be white cotton linen sheets with. They're white, but they're white stripes, different shades of white. So white stripes going down it. That was a fitted cover, then a sheet, and then the pillowcases. And there should have been like a warm blanket in the closet somewhere.
The same color, white or?
Maybe gray.
Okay. When you say there's pillowcases, how many pillows were on the bed?
We've got 5 minutes left. Yes. How many? Because we saw the photos, and it's odd that in bedroom number 4, no bedding on there, because Stephan probably watched the bedding, unless he was just downstairs and Jenn knew anything. There were many scenarios. We went through scenario 1, 2, and 3. Go check out that stream. We went through the evidence room by room and all of that, right? We've looked at those photos. So if you haven't seen them, go check out that live stream. It's on the playlist. But in the upstairs bedroom number 4, there was just the mattress protector and like a sheet and 1 pillow. There were like 5 pillows downstairs. That's why they're also like, how many pillows were usually up there? You know? Like how would Maddie be making a nest up there if it's like there's no bedding there? Sounds like a very dodgy room. That room number 4, big red flags, right? Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure. I know that we had taken things out of that room before. I don't know if we used those pillows. I'm not sure what pillows were there.
Okay, did you ever go into the room after you discovered that she was missing? Did you go upstairs to that bedroom? No.
That's what I was saying. I've said that in snarky moments many times. I'm like, hello, your daughter's missing. Aren't you like looking around like, oh my word, let me check a room. Like, okay, let's see what did I miss? Like, where was she last? Wait, she last slept upstairs? Okay, run up the stairs and check it out. What's going on here? What is happening? Dig through Stephan's bag. Look, no, she's just like, didn't go upstairs at all. So you didn't look for your daughter at all, not even in the home. As I say, if I don't see my cats for like 1 hour, I'm like, where did they go? Even though they can't really go anyway. Okay, I'm always just worried. Just what if they like, I don't know, go off the balcony or something? What? Like just looking around. Where were they last seen? What did they eat? You know what I mean? Like, didn't she check? Even if she checked her room, there's your daughter's shoe. One of her shoes is right there. There's some kind of brown liquid on the floor under her bed. Her black shorts are under the bed, the one that you say she was wearing. There's a whole pile of blankets on her bed. You peel those back. There's Maddie's underwear right there. And then your ex-boyfriend's boxer shorts and a grey t-shirt of his is right there in the laundry. Those are some red flags, some clues if you're looking for your daughter. Like, what happened? Yeah, if I was, if I can't even say if I was her. If mothers, wouldn't one run upstairs, like charge upstairs and try to find any clues of where she last was and what could have happened and why she's missing? Look for a note, look for anything. Nope. She's just like, no. Didn't even go upstairs. Well, that's a red flag.
So when you go to sleep in your room, and you're either with Maddie or without Maddie or with Stephan, is your door open, closed, lights on, lights off?
When I go to sleep? So I have a cat. I can't shut the door. I have to leave it cracked. So it stays cracked with a door stopper behind it so it doesn't open all the way because my cat will just knock it over. Yeah, but we sleep with the door cracked.
Okay, lights on, lights off?
Lights off with a YouTube video playing in the background, playing rain sounds.
Okay, would the screen be illuminated, or is it something where a screen, like a phone, where the screen goes black and it still plays?
It goes black, yeah, and still plays.
Do you remember it happened that night if you were listening to those YouTube videos, or?
Probably was. I listen to it every night, so I probably was.
Does it shut off automatically?
Around like 4 or 5 a.m., but then I'll notice and I'll press play again.
But you said you sleep the whole night and you never notice, you never wake up, nothing wakes you, the medication knocks you out. People can't even wake you when a car is broken into. And you say to your roommates, when they say, what if there's a fire and we can't even wake you up? She's like, someone will get me. But you're telling me you play some rain sounds in the background, you wake up when it stops and you play it again? I don't believe that either. So Crime Time Crochet says something is on her phone and they're trying to eliminate that someone else could use it, or as a timeline of her awake when stuff happened, I guess. Yeah, they're definitely starting to like, about that phone though. What's Google Meet? What were you watching on YouTube? What do you do? Where does your phone charge? Where does Maddie's phone charge? All of that. Phoebe says she contradicts herself constantly. Oh no, right. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you're easily woken up or no? By sounds like that, or?
I'm not sure if I'm easily woken up. I don't know.
Okay.
The detective is like, oh, okay. I'm not sure I'm easily woken up. Yeah, you were busted. They cornered again, Jen. Like, oh no, I just hear when the rain sound stop and then I just play it again. Okay, but are you easily woken up then? No. Yeah, her story is not, she contradicts herself the whole time, like Phoebe said. Copper horse? Firstly, thanks for being a member for 29 months and a fabulous moderator, okay? And then you say congratulations on 335K. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Are there 335 Grizzlies now? That is hectic. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Just know, I'm going to have another live stream later today because we planned it yesterday, and then yesterday we watched Aliyah Boulevard sentencing. If you missed that, you got to go check that out. Oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about Sandra Birchmore's case later today as well. Okay, right after this live stream, we're teleporting there, little break, and then I'll see you there. Kimberly in Japan said, as a child whose mother was married 3 times, plus several boyfriends in between, and one who has experienced DV or SA, I'm sorry about that. You say, this is enraging. Hashtag justice for Maddie. Thank you so much. And yes, it absolutely is, right?
Now, the purpose of you telling or having Maddie sleep with Stephan upstairs is because you told me before that you needed a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
If you needed this kind of sleep previously to when Stephan wasn't there, what would happen?
You mean if Stephan wasn't there and I needed this good night's sleep?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. If I had missed my meds the way I missed them that night and I wasn't feeling, or I was feeling just how I was feeling, I'm not sure if I would have had her sleep, have her sleep with me on the other side of the bed, or if I would have sent her upstairs to the guest room. But
why would you send her upstairs to the guest room if there's no Stephan? She has her own room on the same floor downstairs. You just said she might have slept in that bed once. Why would you say, I don't know, if I needed a really good night's sleep, not sure if I would like send her upstairs or just make her sleep on the other side of the bed? Like, what the hell? She has no clue what she would do. Oh man. Mystique said, glad to be a member for 13 months. Thank you so much for being a member for 13 months. Jen, oh my goodness.
she sleeps like a monkey. She rolls. She'll start at one end of the bed and end up on top of me by the end of the night. And she's a gymnast, I guess. But
Have you ever sent her upstairs to sleep?
no, not for any of these reasons.
Have you ever sent her upstairs to sleep by herself?
Alone?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, not for any of these reasons. What reasons? You just said, if you needed a good night's sleep, okay, what's the question? And Stephan wasn't there, what would you do? I don't know, send her maybe upstairs? Maybe to the other side of my bed or upstairs. Okay, but have you ever sent her upstairs alone? Not for these reasons, I don't know what those reasons are, okay. But have you ever? No. Okay, so you never sent her alone upstairs, because why would you? So now why are you sending her upstairs with Stephan? Shirley, thank you so much.
I'm gonna need to wrap this up.
Okay, one more question. Does anybody use your phone other than you?
No, except for the day that we were sitting in front of my house and forensics was in the house. That was the only time I've ever let anyone use my phone, and that was Stephan. Stephan had my phone.
What about, do you wear an Apple Watch?
Yes.
Does it track any of your movements or anything like that you know of? Do you sleep with your watch on?
No, I hardly ever put it on, honestly.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything else.
Do you have anything real quick, Danielle?
No.
Do you have anything that you think we should know, Matthews?
Unfortunately, no.
Good down there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, it's 10:06 a.m. We will conclude this investigative subpoena interview with you, Ms. Soto. Thank you. I'm sorry.
And that's the end of that. That's where it cuts off. Wow. I don't know about you, but I'm going to listen to it again. There's so much. That would be probably the 5th time I hear it. I'm probably going to listen to it like 10 times because I'm like, what? So many moments and my jaw is on the floor. Like, what? What? Wow. So I do wonder, what do they have on her phone? What could be on that phone? And of course, this is I'm going to say it again, a derivative use immunity interview, which is a type of protection given to a person who's forced to testify in a criminal case. It means that the person's testimony cannot be used against them in a future prosecution. However, the government can still prosecute if they can prove that their evidence came from a different source. So if they are building a case against Jennifer Soto, if they can prove whatever they're trying to prove from a different source, she could still be charged. She's going to be cuffed then, right? Do you think that she might get arrested? And what for? I always ask that, because I'm just like, man, I don't know. The gut feel, the red flags, everything she says, it's just terrible. It's just like, what is going on here? I feel so bad for Maddie. My goodness. Yeah, Deb says, yes, I need to listen again also. So please remember, I'm going to publish the audio only within the next 24 hours. So obviously for me, it's 8 o'clock at night. I'm already doing another live stream at 10 o'clock. Then I'm going to put that together. So sometime maybe tomorrow, depending on what time it is for you. For me, it might be tomorrow, Sunday. For you, it might still be Saturday, depending, okay? Mariposa, thank you so much for your sticker as well. Thank you to everyone who bought stickers. Some of them don't pop up for me. I don't know why. Can't see them sometimes. Maybe it's because there's so many in chat. Cara said, I have a feeling the Apple Watch may be very important to the case. We know that Stephan was apparently wearing a Fitbit while he was in the vehicle with Maddie. That's what the report said, right? I also think a lot of people may have missed a lot of the reports we read through. We read through so many documents. We saw body cam. We've been studying this case at length, right? And we will continue to do so with all the information coming out. It is amazing with Florida and the sunshine laws, how much information we have, but it's just incredible to try to unravel all of this, to try to keep track, like we did with Letitia's stuff. Ooh, there we were trying to keep track of like all the lies. That was exhausting. Thank goodness we had Kevin Clark, timeline guy, to help us along there. Let's hope there's a good timeline person for this case as well, because they're going to need that at the trial, right? Cara said, yeah, okay, you have a feeling that the Apple Watch, maybe. So everyone, please leave your comments below. I look forward to reading them. If you want to email me, my email is grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. And I will see you in the next live stream. You're going to be teleported there now. And if you aren't, I'm going to put the link in the chat. So we're going to talk about Sandra Birchmore's case. I will put the link in that chat to the previous episode we did, because you might want to check out part 1 while you wait. So I'll see you over there, right? Elfig said thank you you should sub up, hit the thumbs up. I'm saying thank you to you. Get the membership. Mystery's worth it. Thank you so much. Come to Patreon. Respectful to the victims, their family, and no nonsense chat. Her work is amazing. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. So I'll see you at the next live stream today. It's happening in the next 2 hours. 1 hour 59 actually from now if you're watching live. And I'll continue on this case as we get more information. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, mods. Really appreciate it. Bye, everyone.